I'm very impressed with your stuff. I did a little bit of a
Oh
bit of
God.
a watch the other. I'm like, wow. I'm not. What is payday? Can you tell me what payday is?
You see, if I make that the intro, you're gonna have about 3 viewers now.
Oh no. I'm kidding. I'm joking. I'm joking. I swear.
What is a payday? I've never been
I know
paid.
I'm payday's #1 fan.
Yeah, exactly.
I know what is a payday.
Not gonna lie, unless something funny happens, that's probably gonna be the intro now. You've sealed the deal
Yeah.
on that one.
Oh no. Please, everyone listen. I swear this episode's going to be fun. We're going to have a great chat.
Hello and welcome back to the Redcast. I'm your host Troy, also known as Red Archer Live, and welcome back to my show all about exploring the world of entertainment through video games, content creation, music, acting, and much, much more. As always, this episode was available 48 hours early for everyone who supports me over on my Patreon page before the public release on both YouTube and Spotify. And if you'd like to become a patron, just head on over to www.patreon.com/RedArcherLive and pledge as little as $1 to get the early access to the show. And just like last week, we're going to be opening this episode by reading a featured review from the previous episode of the podcast. And our featured review this week comes from NCT97, who wrote, "It's very nice to have a somewhat casual podcast. Most tend to come across as boring and hyper-professional. I'm glad to hear you're really enjoying the podcast, NCT. Thank you very much for leaving that comment. It's greatly appreciated. But either way, let's get into episode 6, and in this episode, we're going to be taking a very Doctor Who-centric focus, as my guest this week is a Doctor Who YouTuber. This guy is based in Australia with a back catalogue of videos going back even further than my first upload, and he's here to talk about his origins with YouTube, and then mainly get into a big discussion about the show itself. So it's time to give a warm welcome to this week's guest. It's Crispy Pro. How you doing, dude?
I'm alright. How are you, Troy Red Archer Live?
That didn't sound stilted at all.
Sorry, is that your full birth name?
Yes, I was born Troy Red Archer Live.
The Archer Lives. What a fantastic family they are.
Oh yeah, we're really famous back over in the UK, you know.
Oh yeah. Sorry, we don't know much over here in Australia. We don't get much from overseas, really.
Ah, okay, that's fair. Well, just know you're talking to a celebrity. No, I can't even say that. Oh no. Well, this is off to a great start.
Oh, we're doing well. We're doing very well. Come on, back on track. Let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. So, how about we start things off first off? How about you talk a little bit about your channel and introduce it to people who don't know you?
Okie dokies. Well, hello everyone. My name is Crispy Pro, and I make videos on Doctor Who. I've been doing it for about 7 years, and I do all weird and wonderful variations of Doctor Who videos. We've had theories and discussions and Taylor Swift music video parodies and rankings, and it's just a fun time, really. Yep, and that's it. Is everyone sold on my channel yet?
I mean, everyone is. I want to know about the Taylor Swift thing. I mean, I've watched your videos for a little bit now, and I think you've mentioned that before about doing song parodies in like one of your more recent videos, but I haven't seen it. Care to explain that first?
You haven't seen the Taylor Swift? That's the one thing anyone wants to talk to me about my channel.
Well, maybe it's good that I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Then.
Yeah, no, you'll I hope you like it. So basically, it started. I was at college, and Taylor Swift just dropped that song, "Look What You Made Me Do," and we were just joking, and I was like, "Oh, wouldn't it be funny if there was like a Doctor Who parody called Look What Who Made Me Do?"
Oh no.
And then we kind of looked at each other, and we spent the whole weekend filming this parody. And I mean, I'm not usually proud of a lot of the stuff I do, but that one I was like, hey, that's got a bit of pizzazz. I'm alright with that. So yeah, if you want to check that out in your own time, please be my guest.
I'd say I'd give it a link in the description, but I worry that it might not be a good idea to leave that in the description. That sounds
no. No.
Oh my god. Well, I mean,
if it happens to be in your suggested, then click on it.
Trust me, I've got my own stuff to be embarrassed about. My first payday video was a mess, and it's something that I've talked to you before on the podcast. It's basically a meme at this point. It was called Bank Heist 101, and it was very, very bad. And I literally now get comments on some of my videos.
How long ago was it? How long ago was
God.
your first payday video?
Ooh, 4.5 years ago, I think. I need to look up the date. That's actually...
Wow, so you've had your channel for 4.5 years.
I've had it for about 6.
Oh, but what were you doing before payday?
I was what we call a variety YouTuber.
Oh, one of those variety. Did you do like a cinnamon challenge or something?
Oh no, like still variety gaming stuff. No, I didn't push
Oh,
it quite
okay.
that
Thank
far.
goodness. I was like, well, how YouTube are we talking here?
Yeah, no, not that mainstream. No, that's the thing now. It started a whole meme about Bank Heist 101 being like the best thing I've ever done. And I'll get comments now being like, this video's great, but have you seen Bank Heist 101? Or this video's really good, but it's no Bank Heist 101. Like, I literally get those a lot. Like, it started because of this podcast and it hasn't stopped yet, and it worries me. I mean, never mind the fact that I read out a featured review from every episode. If all the comments are just Bank Heist 101, then you're forcing your hand as to which one I have to read.
Yeah.
May 2015. There we go. May 2015. So that's about 4.5 years ago, yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
It's now got
very
800
good.
views.
Wow.
More people are definitely going back to watch that. That worries me.
Yeah. Let's get it to 1,000, folks. Come on.
Just like see like 300 views and there's just Spike just jump. Just everyone check
Yeah.
it out. Oh, God. But no, so we've both got our share of, I guess, questionable stuff. I'm going to definitely watch that Taylor Swift thing soon. And
Oh yeah, well yeah. There's two. There are two Taylor Swift parodies.
you did say
I did
parodies.
one last
Yes.
year.
What was the other song that you parodied?
Yeah. It's like it's not one of Taylor's best. Sorry, Taylor, if you listen to this.
I really
but,
don't think she is.
Oh look, honestly, we don't know what she likes, but she could like Payday. I mean, she's one of the richest women in entertainment, so she's definitely got a payday, if you know what I mean. But
Stop.
it was that Taylor Swift song. It's called Me. And me. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
That's fantastic.
Do you know it?
That's fantastic.
It got to number 2 on the charts. Do you know that one?
I
Do you
don't
know
know
it?
that one. No, I don't.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, I did a parody to that, and it's basically about my like Doctor Who obsession. Being like, I can't even remember how it goes now. That's pretty bad.
Such an important video
like,
for me. I can't remember
it was like, I don't know what to do when Doctor Who's not on TV, or something like that. Anyway, so yeah, we've spent the first half of this talking about Taylor Swift parodies. I swear there's more to my channel than just Taylor Swift parodies.
Well, we're really selling that angle because that angle is going to get the most interest.
Yeah.
We don't care about Doctor Who news and theories. We just want to know about your Taylor Swift
No,
parodies.
not up to date stuff.
You know, people say things always come in threes. So what's the next song going to be?
Oh well, I don't know. It's funny because everyone's like, oh, Crispy must be like a huge Taylor Swift fan. I'm really not. It was just the first song that Look What You Made Me Do. I was like, we could make that into a parody, and then I did the second Taylor Swift one and dug myself into a hole there. Because like I'm definitely, if I had to name anyone as my favorite like pop artist, it's Katy Perry, and that's like a polar opposite to Taylor Swift. So. A fun fact, I don't usually tell people about that, but you know what? You're getting the inside scoop.
The inside scoop on your love of Katy Perry.
Yeah, absolutely.
If we learn nothing else
Absolutely.
today, that's what we've learned. I'm very
Yeah.
grateful.
That's the one. That is the one.
Admittedly, I'm not a big Katy Perry fan, but I'll give it to you. That's fair. I think Raw was enough to put me off her, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, that song lived on the radio for a bit too long, one would say.
Yeah, it put up a tent and it didn't move for a long time, and it just got very frustrating.
Did you know that it's the most viewed female music video ever?
Is it? Wow, I actually
Yeah, it's
did
got
not
like
know
three
that.
3 point something billion views.
Well, that explains why I'm not a fan of it then. I've heard it far too much.
Yep.
Oh, honestly. Fair enough then. Right, so how did you get started then when you made your first videos? Like, why Doctor Who?
Well, actually, I wanted my channel to be very much variety gaming like yourself.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah. So I started off because one of my mates in my like grade 10 class, we were just like, you know what, we should just make YouTube channels and go viral. And I was like, huh, cool.
It's that easy.
How do we do that? And we're like, games. We just gotta play some games. And so I did a few I did like Slender, you know, typical.
Oh, yeah.
And then I did one of the Doctor Who adventure games.
Okay.
And that got like 100 views, and I was like, "Wow, this is it. We are going to do Doctor Who until I die."
That's literally
and then,
me with Payday.
Yeah,
I've been doing YouTube for like 3 years, and I did one video talking about, Payday 2 on Xbox is getting a new update. Here's the details, and it got like a couple of thousand views, which was like, Like I had about 1,000 subs at the time or something, and I was like, oh my god, that just did really well. Okay, more of this. Okay, cool. And then it just went on from there.
That is. I mean, that's the formula. That's the spark. That's the initial spark that you need.
Yeah, you do the variety until something explodes, and then you ride that until you die. Quite simple.
And then, yeah, exactly. Sell the hell out. Oh yeah, and then straight after I did the, like Doctor Who adventure games, I was like, okay, well, I have one of the theories on one of the companions, Clara, and so I posted that. And then that got like over 1,000 views, much similar to your situation. I was like, oh my gosh, I can do this. And then right after that, I was like, okay, I'll do a video called Top 5 Clara Theories. And that video currently sits on 182,000 views.
Oh god, so it's like one of your biggest videos then?
From 7 years ago.
That's mad.
And I filmed it on my iPad.
Very professional. Very, very professional.
Yeah. Yeah, oh, very professional. But yeah, I was like, what is going on? But yeah, no, the Who community online is massive.
Yeah.
Absolutely massive. And they are a very, very loud community when they want to be. But, I mean, I'll say a majority, 99% of my time on YouTube has been a very, very enjoyable experience. And I've met so many cool people through it.
Yeah, no, it is good. I mean, I don't know how many, like, I don't even know who the biggest Doctor Who YouTuber is. Like, there might be a big channel I've never heard of, but it seems like the people like you and Ace Creeper, etc., are kind of like the big names out there, to be honest.
We have I've got a group chat with Ace Creeper and the Who Addicts. Called like Ace Crispy Addicts or something dumb. Anyway,
fantastic.
And so yeah, no, we all stay in contact. But I think probably one of the bigger ones is Council of Geeks. Do you know Council of Geeks?
Oh, I think I've actually heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah. They have some excellent stuff. But I mean, like, we don't really do it to get big. We're just lucky enough that enough people want to listen to our opinions on Doctor Who.
Exactly, yeah. You do it for, like, yeah, the enjoyment rather than, you know, as you said, let's make a video and go viral.
Yeah, that's the formula. That's what I write that down on a piece of paper just before I start filming.
It's just a big friendly button and you hit it and it just goes, the video just explodes.
Yeah, oh. That's exactly it.
I'm going to be making lots of very subtle references like that to Doctor Who, and if anyone
I know,
I
got it.
Good.
That's Journey
if anyone
to the
else
center of the
gets
TARDIS.
those, you know.
Don't worry about it.
Very, very, very subtle ones. I'll try, and then some will be really, really blunt. But you know,
I'll see if I can get the episode when you say them. I'm just gonna, if you throw them into conversation, I'm just gonna halt the conversation and say, oh, that was the Pandorica opens.
Yeah, literally. No, that'll be it. That'll be perfect.
All right, that's a challenge. All right,
let's
do it.
God, it's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Whoa.
There we go.
I know that one. I know that one.
I literally did that one whilst we were prepping for this. That's just me.
Yeah.
That's not.
It's just part of you that was accidental. It wasn't even meant to be.
I mean, let's face it, Chris Eccleston being a part of you is really not all that bad.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
How he's coming back.
He takes up a majority of my heart. Oh, yeah, he definitely is.
I've never listened to any Doctor Who audio dramas ever before, but him coming
back... Yeah, but I will give it a go for Eccleston.
I think Big Finish have got all their money coming in for this one, because they're going to be like, there's going to be so many people checking us out now, because Christopher Eccleston. They'll be quids in.
Well, I mean, they would have had to fork out some coin, because the man refused to be in the 50th anniversary, but was like, you know what, Big Finish and this paycheck, for sure.
It sounds as though, from what I've read, that he went to like a couple of conventions at the start of the year and then just like started to clock that people really were not letting him go and how much like he meant to them, and he kind of went, okay, maybe it is time to go back there. It sounded like he just kind of softened on the idea, which, if that's the case, then hopefully Big Finish is kind of like going to be a bridge to the 60th, because my God.
Oh my gosh, back, I didn't even think about this.
If he is softening up overall and he gets a good response on Big Finish, which, let's face it, is a done deal already just from the announcement, then, my God, if they bring him back,
exactly.
Imagine all the
That's something else.
Uniting 5 Doctors,
you've just, I mean,
6, who knows?
You've just given me a video idea.
You're welcome, I'm here all night.
Yeah, I'm just going to write all that down and then just beside it say... make a video and go viral.
As long as in the video you go, I got this idea whilst testing on the Redcast. Go watch it and then link it.
Yeah, go watch it. Oh, of course.
Good. Glad to hear it. There you go.
We talked about Payday.
And then all he describes just like, what is a payday? I've never had one before.
What? As someone describe what a payday is?
Yes,
Is that the
I've
Taylor Swift parody? No.
Stop. No, don't do that, because then people can ask me to do payday Taylor Swift parodies. Let's not go down that road. I'm not opening that one.
Oh, I feel like that's dangerous. No. There's only so many Taylor Swift parodies that can be made.
Oh, exactly. And I'm not going to be one to make one. So no, I'm good. I'm okay. Oh god. Alright, I guarantee you though, as soon as the Chris Ferguson episodes come out on Big Finish, I guarantee you watch, there'll be a massive sale across all the Doctor Who stuff, because they know if they put everything on offer as soon as Chris comes out, everyone will be like, right, I'm going to buy all the audio dramas now. I want all of them. Give me everything.
Give me everything. Yeah, no, I'm very excited. I'm not quite sure. I think that drops sometime next year.
I think they start in May, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Wow.
I considered shelling out for the vinyls, but that's still like £100+. I'm like, I think I might just stick to the
pounds as well. That's 200 Australian bucks there, mate.
Yeah, because Australian dollars are like it's like almost twice British pounds in conversion. It's wild.
Yeah.
Because I bought conveniently a Doctor Who custom made coat I bought off eBay was from Australia, and I looked at the price and went, my god, that's really expensive. Then went, oh, it's Australian dollars. That's not so bad.
Hang on a second. Yeah.
That's not too bad. It's alright.
That's us. We're just cheap people over here. I'm kidding. Australia's where it's at. I love Australia.
Wow, that's crazy. I wouldn't have thought you'd like Australia, only considering you lived there.
Oh, yeah. No, I've only lived here my whole life.
You just sit there like, I hate Australia. I want to get out of here right now. Get me
get me out of here. No. Australians are a lot of fun. We're very chill. We're very chill people.
I imagine
Come visit when you can.
I don't know about American people, but I imagine most UK listeners who are listening to this, probably when they think of Australia, one of the first things that comes to mind is I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. Because that is just like the definitive Australia thing in the UK. Have you ever heard of it?
Wait, as in like, do you watch the Australian version?
Well, I don't know about that, but if there's an Australian version, then you will have heard of it. There you go.
Yeah. No, I know the show.
Yeah, because the UK one goes to Australia.
Colin Baker was on it. Oh, did they go to Australia?
Yeah, well, they haven't this year. They're going to a castle in Wales because of COVID, but they've really downscaled a little bit. But normally it's in Australia. Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that. No, you don't have to get out of Australia. I'm a celebrity. Let's live in Australia for a bit.
Wait, so where do people go when I'm a celebrity in Australia? Where do they go to?
I think they go... That's actually really, really good question. I've never watched the show, but I know there is an Australian version. What's the name? What's the name of Geordie Shaw was on there?
I don't know. I don't
nothing.
Watch Geordie Shaw.
I mean, that's all. That's the only person I recognize from the 3 episodes of Geordie Shaw I watched. But anyway, I did not know that they went to Australia. That's really funny.
No, but I mean, John Barrowman was on it in, oh my god, which season was it? It was,
and he was in Australia.
And he was in Australia, and it was 2 years ago. I think he got second place.
And I had no idea about this.
And you had no idea. I don't know if there's any way you can watch seasons back.
He was on my soil.
He was.
Wow.
Vegetable term.
I feel honoured.
You should do. I mean, I don't know whether it's a good idea to slide in that I've met him, because I have, and it was very nice.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. When was it, at a convention?
No, it was. He did like a kind of a UK tour where he did like all sorts of stuff. He talked about like his roles. He did like singing. He did all sorts. It was kind of like a John Barrowman variety show type thing, and it was literally just called Fabulous because he's an icon.
Oh, that's brilliant. That is brilliant.
I managed to get a VIP pass to go backstage and meet him. There were a few people there, and he was taking selfies with everybody, and it was wild. It was such good fun.
That is unreal.
I was not okay for like 2 days afterwards.
Wow.
I was just like, oh my god.
Wow. What an honor. Oh, it would be so cool.
I'll
try and get that on a bucket list item to meet John Barrowman.
We have got something in common here in the way that we both want to meet people that each other have met, because you have met Peter Capaldi, who would be my ultimate dream of somebody to meet, because, oh my god, I love that man with all of my heart, and I have never met him, and I desperately want to.
As do I. Do you want me to tell you how it happened?
Yes, let's share those stories. We seem to be going down that road.
Let me take you back to 2014. Peter Capaldi's first episode, Deep Breath, is about to air, but before they do that, they go on the Doctor Who World Tour. Now, the ABC, which is the Australian Broadcast Centre, it's I don't know, it's one of our TV channels here. Anyway,
Yeah.
they had a competition when you had to submit a piece of fan art or fan work as to why you heart the Doctor. And so I was in grade 9, grade 11. Let's just say grade 10.
Oh, I'm watching. Oh, you mentioned this in the video. Oh no, I know what's coming.
Yeah, so I made a silly little music video called I Heart the Doctor, and it was a rap, and no one's ever let it go. But anyway, it didn't win the competition. Someone else won that ABC competition. When you win the competition, you got to fly out and go to the Doctor Who World Tour. But the video somehow managed to make it into the hands of the BBC, who were coming along and, doing the whole event, and were like, "Hey, we like your style. Would you like to film some promotional stuff with us? Like, we'll fly you down to Sydney, and we'll get you like front row seats for the episode. We'll get you accommodation, all that." I'm like, "Oh, heck yeah! Like, I'm not gonna pass that up."
That's mental.
So I go there and I like meet all the the BBC people. Shout out Chris and Alex. Still stay in contact with them somewhat. And yeah, they were just absolutely lovely. And we filmed some interviews with all the fans, talking about their episodes, talking about what they're hoping for the season. And then watched the episode, and it's my first ever exclusive preview. So everything was just bigger and better and incredible. And then I was with my auntie because I had to have a legal guardian with me at the time, and we went to the snack bar, and we got an ice cream, being like, "Wow, what an excellent day!" And then the BBC guy Alex was like, "Hey, throw that ice cream in the bin." And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Throw your ice cream in the bin." I'm like, "Okay." And he's like, "You want to come backstage and meet Capaldi?" I'm like, "Get out." I'm like, "Get out." How many people in the world can be like, "Oh yeah, straight after I watched the Doctor's first episode, I got to go backstage and meet him." Anyway, so we get backstage. I walk past Jenna Coleman's dressing room, and she's just there looking gorgeous, doing her makeup, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, what the hell? This is strange." And then I get into Peter Capaldi's dressing room, and he's not there. I'm like, "Oh, what the heck?" And then I turn around, and he's like, "Hello, Crispy." I'm like, "Get out. Get out.
No,
what the heck?"
He did not say hello, Crispy. No way.
Oh, that was his first words to me. "Hello, Crispy." I'll never forget it. I'll absolutely never forget it.
Oh my god.
And then we just chatted about life. He was like, "How's school? How's everything?" They said the show ran overtime because he was too busy talking to me. Like, they went overtime for the show. Anyway.
That is quite the flex. That is such a flex, and yet that is amazing.
Yeah, no, one of the most surreal moments of my life. But yeah, we just chatted, and he watched the I Heart the Doctor video, so that's
God.
That's a highlight of my life. No, but the actual highlight of my life from that whole thing, he was like, you look kind of like Matt Smith." And I'm like, "Get out." What the heck? Get out. But yeah, so that was, I'll never ever forget that.
I would be surprised if you did.
Unreal. And shout out to the BBC for being so kind and making this kid's dream come true.
I'm ridiculously jealous now. You want to meet John Barrowman, I want to meet Peter Capaldi. Done. Have you met anybody else from Doctor Who?
I have indeed. The year after they had the Doctor Who festival.
Yeah.
That was in the UK, I think, as well. I think it might have just been in the UK and Australia. Anyway, so they set up this massive thing in Australia. They had all the props from the show, and then they had a bunch of cast doing panels. It was basically just a Doctor Who Comic-Con. It was awesome. But they were trialing out. The BBC were trialing out some live stream software. I can't remember what it was called. But anyway, I did all these live interviews with a bunch of the cast of Doctor Who. I interviewed Mark Gatiss.
Ooh.
Do you know Mark Gatiss,
yeah,
Sherlock's brother in Sherlock?
No,
yeah,
star of my favorite episode of As a Child, The Lazarus Experiment.
Oh yes, absolutely. That is the Professor Lazarus. That's the one.
I'm just gonna put the Lazarus creature on screen, and people who haven't seen that episode are gonna be like, "What?"
That's the guy I sat down with. But anyway, the first thing he said to me was, "Oh, I expected Crispy to be a girl." And I was like, "What?" But anyway, he was very, very funny. Like I think that was one of my favorite interviews ever. He's one of the most engaging people. And then I had an interview with Stephen Moffat. It was awesome to talk to him as well.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, he was it was surreal talking to him because like off camera he was like how you doing, like really, really nice, and then as soon as the camera switched on, that man had so much energy. You could see he's done the interviews that many times that he just knows how to present himself. Who else was there? Osgood.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, she was really, really nice. I had to show her where the bathroom was, so that was a strange out of body experience. Being like, I'm just showing where the toilets are to one of the Doctor Who cast. I got to talk to Dan Starkey or Strax, the Zontaran.
You got to interview I was just gonna casually drop and be like, hey, I've met Alex Kingston as well. I met River.
This was all in one day. And then I got to interview the Seventh Doctor, Sylvester McCoy, the same day as well, and he was awesome. He was amazing.
He seems like a lovely guy, like an absolutely lovely.
He was a very, very humble, whimsical man.
I've not seen much of his stuff. I've literally like only seen the opening of his first episode, just because that scene of him like waking up and then falling over is so New Who.
Oh yeah. No, it is very, very.
That has such like Matt Smith energy in it, just like the Rani falls backwards.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
But yeah, no, he was very, very nice. But unfortunately, because the whole thing was live streamed, I don't know, I was never able to get any copies. I tried to email, and they were like, "Oh no, sorry, it's in the Nethersphere now." So, but I mean, it makes it half magical because that's like a thing that lives on in my memory now. And I did get like a selfie with all of them, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, that was at the Doctor Who festival. So yeah. Anyway.
I mean, that backfired because I was just gonna go. Like I was just gonna go. I also managed to meet River Song. That was pretty cool. And then you just list off all of those people.
Oh, sorry. I think it's. I would love to meet Alex
fantastic.
Kingston.
I've got like a list to live up to now. Like my god, that's amazing. Oh
no, it was
my
just
goodness.
Right place, right time. Right place, right time.
Oh, I saw Billy Piper do a theatre play called, I think it was called Yerma, but the problem was it was broadcast to cinemas. That's how I got to watch it. I really wish I'd been able to go to the theatre because I would have just like I would have waited backstage all day and been like, oh my god, yeah. Rose, hi.
Rose. She
no,
definitely respond to it. We've got that many fans of Doctor Who.
Listen to her podcast,
especially for
really
Rose
good.
and Tennant. What was that? Sorry.
The podcast David Tennant did with Billy. It's really good.
Oh no, I've been meaning to. I did see that happened.
Yeah, I've listened to all like the Doctor Who ones. Very, very biased.
Very good. Very good.
It's just, I mean, I haven't listened to a lot of his episodes, but the podcast is talking about not listening to podcasts. Oops, but
yeah.
the Catherine Tate one, that was so interesting about like the way that she was brought back on for series 4 and all that kind of stuff. That was really cool.
Yeah, that is I think I should listen to the podcast, but I know that. Well, she knew that her character had a bit of backlash initially from her episode,
Yeah.
so I think the writers did a really, really good job of bringing her back in. Probably a brilliant job of anyone coming back into the show, really.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I love the reactions people get. Like, there's a reactor I watch on YouTube, I don't know whether you've seen him, oh God, what's his name? Farewell34, and he's done, like, loads of Doctor Who reactions, and I remember watching his Runaway Bride one, and he was just kind of like, I'm not really sure I was that keen on Donna, blah, 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 I thought she was just a little bit annoying at times, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, when he got to series 4 and watched through, he was like, now I see why you all liked Donna so much, because she's really good now. Yeah.
It's exactly, I've got friends that have only seen that episode and refused to watch series 4 because I couldn't stand her. I'm like, no, trust me.
Oh my
trust
God.
me.
Imagine missing out on such a good series.
I know. Brilliant series.
Well, let's bridge it in then. Let's start what might be a 2-hour kind of worms. So this is going to be interesting as to how this episode turns out.
Right, let's do it.
First start this whole like Doctor Who discussion off properly with where you jumped on. So what was your first episode of the show?
My first episode was The Lodger, starring James Corden.
Would you believe? To begin with.
Yeah, so I was at my auntie's place, and it was just kind of like on in the background, and you've seen that episode, haven't you?
I've seen all of the new Who ones, yeah.
Oh, okay, very, very good. So it was that scene where it's like the girl at the top of the staircase being like, "Excuse me, can you help me? Can you help me?" And I was like, "This is terrifying. What is going on? I am intrigued." And then Matt Smith, it's basically almost a Matt Smith solo episode, and I was so intrigued by this character that was just so, bonkers.
Pointing a toothbrush upstairs in a towel.
Yeah, no, and then so I was like, okay, that was a bit strange, and then I caught it the week after, and that episode was the Pandorica Opens, when there was just so much stuff happening. Like the Pandorica Opens was my second episode, and I'm like, I have no idea what's going on, but I'm in love.
Yeah.
I think this is awesome. And then I went back and watched a few. I got some of David Tennant's episodes out from my local library, just on DVD loan. And I think my fourth episode was probably The End of Time. I watched stuff in a very, very poor order.
That is awful. Why did you do that? Oh no!
I didn't know. It was just on the DVD shelf, and it looked shiny, and I was like, okay, well, this is the one. And so yeah, then I watched that. I'm like, what is going on? But I remember, I think my peak excitement for Doctor Who was watching Impossible Astronaut, when the Doctor seemingly dies in the first 10 minutes. I'm like, okay, this show is something else. This show is something else. And so yeah, I started to answer your question. I started watching at the end of Series 5 in 2010, and then have gone and watched all of New Who, and some I'm still going to watch more classic, but I've watched some classic. But yeah, anyway, I'm just in love with it, and then decided to make a YouTube channel on it. And that's why we're here today.
I love you asking. Have you seen that episode of New Who? Anyone listening will know. You asking me if I've seen any episode is what? Don't bother. He's seen them.
Yeah, it's like asking me if I've played Payday. I mean, of course I have. Come on.
Of course you have. Yeah, you're a massive Payday fan. Name the main character of Payday. Let's see how brilliant you messed this up.
It's Sir Payus Deus. I believe his name is. It's
not set in Roman times.
Oh no, that's the DLC. Sorry.
Deus. You tried. You did try.
I tried. I apologize. I tried.
You get points for effort. You don't get much more than that.
Thank you. When did you start watching?
Smith and Jones for me. So the first episode of Series 3.
Oh, brilliant! I watched that episode last night.
There you go. You prepared without realizing.
Yeah. Wow.
No, it was wild because my only memory of Doctor Who was when The Parting of the Ways was on the TV, which was Chris Eccleston's final episode. I wasn't watching it. I just kind of saw in the background the TV was on, and it was just I think I just saw this bit of just a Dalek ship or something, and I was like, oh, it's Doctor Who, and then just went, okay. And I think I was 6 at the time, so hang on, it was 2005, so, and it was earlier than when I was 10, so I was 5. I must have been 5.
Wow, that's an early memory.
I was so young. And I just kind of looked at it and was like, alright. And then apparently just completely missed all of Series 2. Because I only saw that little thing of the Dalek ship in Series 1. Didn't sit down and watch the episode. And then eventually it came back again. It was new series. And I was like, I want to watch this.
Give it a go.
Can we watch Doctor Who, please, Mummy? And she's like, yeah, sure, why not? So we slap it on. And I fall in love with that show so quickly.
Brilliant.
I can remember being in whatever year it was in primary school, year 3 or whatever, and then we're like, oh, we want you to talk about a show that you like, and I just got into Doctor Who, so I got up with this big long page thing all about Doctor Who and was talking all about the show. I was in on it immediately. I was
so passionate. That's brilliant. That's what Doctor Who does to you, though. I've so many stories like that just from childhood. One of my mates watched it from the get-go. And he showed me, he had this, he made a stage play in 2008. He wrote his own stage play because he was that passionate. He got all his mates that didn't even watch the show at his school to almost put on the production. They had the teacher have to step in and be like, you guys aren't actually going to do this. But yeah, no, it's brilliant. And Smith and Jones, that's a brilliant episode to start on.
Oh yeah,
especially since I watched it last night. I haven't watched that episode in years. I'm like, wow.
Smith and Jones is fantastic.
Martha and Doctor have such a good dynamic in that episode, and you can really see Tennant being they very much sell you on Martha because that's the whole point of the episode, because we've had Rose for 2 series.
Yeah.
But they do it so well, because the Doctor's like so impressed by, you know, some of the questions she's asking, some of the things she does. He's like, wow, that's a brilliant point, actually. And kind of like earns his trust. But yeah, no, brilliant. That's a great one to start off with.
Yeah, so because of that, like, the Lazarus experiments that we mentioned a minute ago was, like, one of the first episodes that I watched. I don't know what it is about that episode, because, like, that gets at, like, the bottom of a lot of, like, people's lists for Doctor Who episodes and, like, really bad CGI. To me, even now, when I look at the Lazarus creature, I don't even think the CGI is that bad for the time. I think it's alright.
No, for 2007 standards, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
It's better than the Scribble monster the year before.
We can get on to Doctor Who episodes we don't like as much in a bit, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how negative I want the podcast to get, but boy, we could have some discussions there. Orphan 55. Moving on. Oh god, honestly, that was funny. Right, we'll leave that for a minute.
Yeah.
But no, so I watched Series 3. I think I watched all of Series 3. And then after that, watched Series 1 and 2, because I was definitely completely up to date before Season 4 started.
Oh, very
so, like,
good.
I remember one of the trailers being on TV for like, Donna coming back, and she was like, I'm coming back. And she was like, it was something in the trailer was like, I'm back, and this time I'm ready, or whatever. And I was, like, proper hyped, because I was like, Donna's coming back, this is going to be so cool. Because I really liked her in Runaway Bride. I thought she was great. But I was so excited for it, and then literally after that, it's just been right the way through. I mean, I think more recently, because we can talk about the Whittaker Era in a bit. I just kind of didn't gel with her era as much at first. I'm growing on it now. I think it just kind of... I was still watching it, and I'm not ever going to stop watching the show, but I think I'd kind of... Like, my superfan thing had worn off a little bit. And then it's only more recently because of the... Like, I don't know whether you'd seen, they've been doing all these, like, watch-alongs, like, during the pandemic for, like, loads of different episodes. Yeah. It was literally... As soon as the first one happened for Day of the Doctor, I was like, my God, I haven't watched some of these in such a long time. And then at one point, they did Rose... And I was... Because I still live with my mum, I was like, should we watch this one? She was like, yeah, because we did all the watch-alongs. And then I went... How about we just watch all of Doctor Who again? Because there's, like, episodes here we haven't seen for, like, 10 years. And we went on this massive watch-along of all the episodes. And I'm just... It's back. The superfan inside me is back. And I don't think it's going to go away now for another 10 years.
Yeah. That is brilliant. And I think that's... well, it's not just the point of those watch-alongs, but it was definitely a large side effect of that. A lot of people were like, wow... You know, the show is something special. It kicked into the nostalgia, definitely. It was just annoying being in Australia because all these watch-alongs happened at like 3 a.m. in the morning for me, so I didn't.
Oh yeah.
I did not attend one. Yeah. So that was annoying. I used to like watch the episodes the same day, but just in my own time.
I mean, you watched them afterwards. You got access to all the tweets and stuff.
Yeah. No, I got to see all the like they got David and Matt and Karen, they got everyone tweeting.
I think my favourite tweet of all of them, though, has to be, you know, before we know, just like on 55, we'll open the Timeless Child can a bit later on, but I really loved when they did the watch-along of the Series 4 finales. They did Stolen Earth and Journey's End. Russell T Davies at one point just went during Journey's End. This isn't quite as tense knowing that 537 other Doctors could have turned up.
Yeah.
that tweet is just my favourite thing about the entire watch-along. Just like, yes, Russell, do it. Throw the shades. Do it. Go on, mate.
On your Russell.
I couldn't stop laughing.
Oh, he's a cheeky bugger.
I love him. I love that man. He's fantastic. He really is. And I literally keep saying fantastic, and every time I say it now, I've just got Eccleston spinning around in my brain, just his face saying fantastic. It's not good.
That's what he does to you. It's the Eccleston effect, is the medical diagnosis.
The Eccleston effect. Yes, it's a good effect. We like him. Oh, come back for the 60th, Eccleston. Come back.
Please.
Right. How about we get a bit more passionate then? What would you say your favourite era of the show would be?
That is an excellent question. I think purely just from like a personal, deep note, it would have to be Matt Smith, because that's when I started, and it's just like such a magical time. Like, I mean, I know Series 6, a lot of people aren't as big a fan of compared to Series 5, but I think I've seen Series 6 so like that many times that, you know, like I just have such a nostalgic feeling towards that, and I loved the dynamic between the Doctor and Amy and Rory, and, you know, even Clara after a bit, but yeah, it was, I don't know, that era of the show is very, very nostalgic. But it was awesome going back and watching Eccleston and watching Tennant, because I'm like, a lot of my Doctor Who friends always started with either Eccleston or Tennant. I've met barely anyone that started with Smith. So I wish I could have lived through that Tennant era.
That's the thing. Like, it didn't really go global, did it, till Matt Smith?
Yeah, well, that's it. I'm pretty sure, like, a statistic that I remember from back in the day was that Series 6 of Doctor Who was the most downloaded show on US iTunes.
Wow.
Which is mental. But yeah. Anyway, what a strange time for the show. But yeah, that would have to be my favorite, I'd say.
Oh yeah.
Just so many good vibes. There's some episodes that I don't go back to, but I think it was definitely just the dynamics and the witty script writing from Moffat. I know some people criticize Moffat's writing, but boy oh boy can he write an episode.
Oh, I love Moffat's writing.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, good. I'm glad. I know he's had some shockers, but I recently did a video on the top 10 episodes rated on IMDb.
Yeah, I saw that. I remember that.
I swear, like, I'm pretty sure it was over half, if not like 7 of them were Moffat. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Rightfully so, because he had some right call. Because there were a couple that weren't as good, obviously, but I mean, there were a few of Russell's that didn't get as much love as some of his others. But I don't know. I think my issue with Matt Smith's run purely because I adore him so much. I think it's just a bit less replayable for me. Like, if I go back to watch an episode of Doctor Who, it's not as likely that it'll be a Matt Smith one. Like, I love the episodes, but they don't have that same rewatch thing for me. I don't think. Like, there are some episodes, like in Series 6, the Girl Who Waited, that comes to mind immediately. That's a fantastic episode,
that's
but
brilliant.
I wouldn't watch that over and over again. But the last 10 minutes of that episode, oh my god, that's so good.
Oh, it's something else. It might be because Moffat kind of goes a little bit heavy at some points with his like overarching story arcs. Like, I know that's a big criticism of Series 6 was that it just became too much River Song for some people. Like, became the River Song show for a second.
Imagine having too much River Song.
I know. You can never have too much Alex Kingston. But I've seen every varying opinion on Doctor Who. But yeah, I completely understand that. And I feel like David Tennant, like that whole era, like the individual installments, they're just so entertaining. Like, you know what you're signing up for, and it's just perfect to sit down and watch. You're like, damn, that was some good sci-fi.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. But there are episodes in there like Let's Kill Hitler. That one gets a lot of hate. That's one of my faves of that series. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's so much fun. That one's ridiculous, and one of the wildest Doctor Who titles I have ever seen.
I know, because it's literally like she goes, "Let's kill Hitler." Like, to credit starts like, yeah, but why? What?
Yeah.
How do we get there?
Only Doctor Who, hey? Only Doctor Who.
Only Doctor Who. Oh, only Doctor Who. Fantastic. But no, I mean, I could get the Matt Smith look. Like, for me, like, as a kid, I was definitely very much an 11th Doctor kind of person, because I'd run around like clapping my hands together and spinning around and being all like kind of ridiculous and stuff. And I went in a couple of times in the jacket and the bow tie. Like, I did that for like fancy dress a few times, like easily. I mean, somehow got a jacket when I was like 10 that still fit me, and I went to Comic Con wearing it last November. I don't know how it still fits me. I really don't.
That's brilliant. That's an antique.
I know. I was like, I want to go to Comic Con. I want to dress up. I was like, there's no way that jacket still fits me. So I dig it out and put it on. I'm like, oh my god, was this swamping me as a kid?
That's ridiculous.
What?
Matt Smith was the Doctor 10 years ago.
I'm trying now to get his other outfit. I think his look in Series 7B was better than his main look. That might be a very controversial opinion.
No. I agree. I mean, like, I like the simplicity of the, architecture teacher look he was going for.
Yeah.
But that one is very, very whimsical. And, I feel like the Doctor just kind of suits long coats. Except for Eccleston, who can definitely pull off the leather.
That's why I'm trying to get like a bunch of different Doctor Who long coats at the minute. I want to get Captain Jack's coat next.
Oh, that's the one.
I've got a kind of like a Capaldi style version of Ten's long coat, like the trench coat. It's like black with red lining, and it's the sexiest thing.
That is.
I'm not one to like fuss at fashion, but it is so. I love it. I really do.
That's brilliant. I like that. A bit of a mishmash.
Yeah, because
I'd feel very doctory in that as well.
That was the one I got off eBay. That was from an Australian thing. It was like
Ah.
it was dead funny because it's not official. Like the name was like Doctor Who is the Doctor, black trench coat. Like kind of like they kind of like parody the name because they can't actually say it.
They can't actually say it. Yeah. Doctor Who is the Doctor.
My favorite one is when they literally just put "Who is the Doctor" coat. I'm just like, that's fantastic.
Oh, I wonder what they're trying to say there. Hey,
Yeah, I wonder. It's like but.
Except
No,
it was
so
Australian,
cool.
wasn't it? So it's Doctor. No, wait. How can I even do an Australian accent? And I am Australian. How do I
Just
do?
try and put on
I
your
was
own
almost
accents.
American for a second. How do you? I can't say Doctor as an Australian. I mean, I know I just did, but I was trying to do the typical, g'day mate, bloody hell, how are you?
G'day.
But
G'day.
Doctor Who. Sorry, I'm having too much fun. I apologize.
Oh well, hey, if you're having too much fun, that's a compliment to me, so I'll take it.
Yeah, no,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
But no, I mean, so for you, Matt, for me, see, I have a bit of like a debate because, well, I mean, my favorite is Capaldi because I adore that man with all my heart. And
Brilliant.
What's so funny about it is when his era was first on, I liked him as a Doctor, but I didn't like love him. My kind of thing was I couldn't decide who was better out of David and Matt, and then after that was Capaldi.
Yeah.
But like rewatching his run, it was like no, he's the best. He's definitely like I don't know about like I can understand people saying David Tennant's the best Doctor. Like I could completely back that and be like that's fine. Even Matt Smith. But for me, Capaldi is the best actor to play the Doctor, in my opinion. I think in terms of the acting quality, he stands because he does it so well. It stands out like so well to me, and just especially his last season, because that's the thing. Like I normally say for episodes, I'm easily most likely to watch a Tennant or a Capaldi episode, but I think sometimes the story writing was a lot stronger in Tennant's run than it was in Capaldi's, and there are definitely some Capaldi stories that suffered a bit. And there are some that people love that I'm just not as big on. Like, Listen, that's one that people adore that I'm just like,
You're not
it's a
that
good
big
episode,
on?
but it's not one of my faves.
Mm.
It's just, I don't know. There are some, like, in The Forest of the Night, like, everyone agrees on that are not very good.
No,
And
no, that
what's
one.
funny about that
That one's
episode
something
is,
else.
oh my god. Every time I watched it, my opinion changed. It was so funny, because the first time I watched it, I was like, that's really bad. I watched it myself before we went on, like, the watch-along, like, a week or two before, and I was like, that episode was alright. I liked that. There's nothing wrong with it. Then I watched it again, and then like the thing with my mum, and I was like, no, that's really bad. That's really bad. Like, once you realise the message is the Doctor saying, hey, if your kids need to take pills, tell them not to do that. It's like,
Tell them not to do it.
ooh,
Not quite sure.
hang on a minute.
Not quite sure that lands, but yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not really sure that's the message we should be taking away from this, but that seems to be what's standing out. Oh dear.
Oh no. Yeah, no, that one's strange. But I do completely like love Capaldi as well. Was there only when you watched like rewatched the episodes recently that you were like, oh damn, Capaldi's the best?
I think it was just generally, to be honest with you.
Wow.
I was just like, oh my god, I love this man. This man is amazing.
He is
and I think it
proper
also
brilliant.
helps that around that time I'd already been watching him in The Thick of It. Don't know whether you've heard of that.
Yeah. No, I know.
seen it?
I've seen all the clips, and I've seen so many mashups of like them putting those clips into Doctor Who scenes, and it's hilarious.
Oh my god, The Thick of It is like my favorite actual like comedy program that isn't like a panel show. It's so good. There's literally nothing better when you're not feeling good to sit down and watch Peter Capaldi swear incoherently for 30 minutes straight. There's literally nothing better.
It's therapy.
Like it's therapeutic, it's cathartic, and it's also just downright hilarious. It's so good.
Oh, that's
Just,
absolutely brilliant.
It's fantastic. I love it so much.
He really is something else, and I think maybe one of my favorite things about Capaldi's Doctor, like having watched all of New Who, like in retrospect, I feel like his Doctor was the most alien. I don't know if you feel that as well, but it was like I don't know what this guy's about. Like he's so out there, and I don't know what's going on, but I'm so intrigued. He's probably the most intriguing incarnation of the Doctor in New Who, I'd say.
I think I personally wish, and it's the same with Tennant, I think both of their standout series were their last ones. I mean, don't get me wrong, Series 3 with Martha is so good. I'm going to try and get myself out of saying fantastic. I've said it like 10 times already. But Series 3 is so good. Series 3 and 4 are both great. The only thing with Series 3, in retrospect, that I look back is that Martha really did get done dirty.
Well,
She was like thrown out by Rose in like so many conversations.
Exactly.
In retrospect, I was looking at it going, oh Martha, honey, I'm so sorry. Oh, that's not.
It shouldn't have been like that.
Like the little lines like, oh, good old Rose, or you fell in love with someone and it wasn't me, and I was just like, oh, Martha, stop it.
Yeah.
Although I always find it funny that she literally said in episode 1, for the record, I'm not interested.
I'm not interested.
And literally the next episode.
And then episode 2, it's like, maybe I am.
They're in the bed together. She's like, it's a bit snug, this bed, isn't it? It's like, Martha, you good?
You're right.
Like Capaldi's last season, like season 10, is joint with season 4 as my favorite series of the show. I absolutely love Peter, like just the 12th Doctor in that. I think I personally believe, because I love Clara, I thought she was great, but my issue with Clara purely is that, especially with Capaldi, I think she took the limelight from him a good portion because she was such an assertive, bossy character.
That's a really good point.
She would like.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, like, and not even in a bad way. I'm not even like in a thing.
Yeah, no, I completely understand what you're saying.
Yeah, not even to blame Jenna or even the script writing. It was just, I think, the way her character was. Like, sometimes it's like one that stands out to me is Into the Dalek, like Capaldi's second episode, and she just slaps him in front of everyone. I'm like, oh, Clara.
You're like, oh,
like, who's in charge here?
Hold on a second. Hold on a dang second.
Yeah, but like, but once she left, I think it gave him a chance to kind of like be like, I've been here longer, I'm in control, I know what's going on. And so Bill could come in as the actual companion along with Nardole. I really like Nardole. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of people really don't like him. I think he was a really good comic addition to the cast.
No, I thought it was brilliant. It was kind of like the same thing as Donna, where we had him for a Christmas special, and I was like, oh, okay. And then he was announced that he's coming back. I'm like, oh, what? But then he ended up being something brilliant. He ended up being one of the fan favorite characters.
Oh yeah, that first scene where he's like, you really do think I'm a surgeon, don't you? And just look on his face and you go, oh no. It's just like he does the comedy character really, really well, and the way they actually managed to give him a proper story was really good. There were some lines that were a bit stupid about him having like glass nipples and stuff. I was like, all right, you're pushing it a bit now.
Yeah. I was like, oh, it's like Moffat. Come on.
Series 10, like I don't. Is there even an episode in that I don't? The Eaters of Light, I suppose, is a little bit.
That's probably the weakest one. Is Eaters of Light? I was about to say that, but I mean, overall, like it is such an enjoyable season, and I think I would agree with you. That's probably one of my favorite.
The Monks trilogy. Seasons. I mean, hello.
Oh yeah, so much fun. Yeah, just chuck a trilogy in the middle. Why not? Series 10 had balls, and I respect that.
Yeah, it really did. And then not to mention the finale, World Enough in Time, the Dr. Falls, probably my favorite story in the whole show. It's just
wow. It came out of nowhere.
The only thing that makes... Did you know John Sim was coming back?
I knew he was announced, but I didn't know it was him until he did the reveal. And I was like, how did I not see that?
Oh, no, it was the opposite for us. It's like... because that's the thing, I say that like it's my favourite story of all time. Imagine how different I'd be, like how much more I'd love it if we didn't know John Sim was coming back. Because I was like so excited to hear he was returning, and it was funny because I would have been like you, I wouldn't have clocked it, but like I said, I tend to watch with my mum, and we were sat there, and as soon as Mr. Razor came on screen, my mum went, "That's John Sim." I went, "What do you mean that's John Sim?" She went, "That is John Sim with prosthetics on. That's his face, that's his voice." And I went, "Oh my god, you're right." And literally the whole episode is building up to it, and he takes the mask.
You're just waiting.
Why did you say that? Because now, that was so obvious, but it wouldn't have been. It was so funny.
I am glad I was left in the dark.
Yeah, I wish I.
But yeah, you're not the only one that picked it up straight away.
Yeah, it was just it was so good. That whole
so much fun.
Missy's arc, like that whole the master being good should not be an interesting thing, but it's fantastically done. It's so well done.
It was brilliant. Yeah, very engaging.
Michelle Gomez played Missy so well.
It felt great. It felt great, and it's interesting because Missy had such a great arc that when you come to this present day master, you're kind of like, is this master a previous incarnation, or is it just simply because of the fact of the timeless child that the master is back to being, crazy and a little less forgiving? Well, a lot less forgiving. So I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I always had the theory.
That's a big discussion point.
Well, I was gonna say I picked up immediately in the Dr. Falls, like the little exchange they have near the start where John Sim's like, "So I imagine you're the next one along." She goes, "I don't know, I don't really remember." And he's like, "Wait, so I'm going to turn into a woman, you don't even remember it happening?" And I saw that as Moffat's little way of going, "Hey, future showrunner, if you want to bring the Master back and don't like the good Master thing, you can put the Master incarnation in between. Missy can be the final Master. Because to me, it's like once you turn good, where do you go from there? You can't really say they regenerate and all of a sudden they're just back to being an arse again. It's just like, I don't like it. And what annoys me is apparently there was like a comic or something recently in the Doctor Who magazine where like there was a thing between 13 and the current Master, and they were like having a discussion, and she was like, you were good as Missy. Like you actually tried to be different, and like the Dewan Master's like, oh, I spent too much time in your company being good. And I'm like, are you really trying to say he comes after Missy? Because if you are, I'm just going to ignore that, because he clearly hasn't. I don't see it. It makes much more sense for him to come post Sim.
You raise a very, very good point. Yeah, damn. Okay, I did not know about this comic.
Because he's very much John Sim.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I don't know how I feel about that one.
He just seems like Chibnall's version of John Sim, and because of that, it's like it seems quite natural that he would just follow on from Sim.
Absolutely, it would make a lot of sense. But I mean, I'm open to the idea if they actually do have some kind of conversation justifying, or like maybe even give us a flashback as to, what happened.
Yeah, like we're going to get into the Whittaker Era in a minute, but like, because I was watching a bunch of the series 12 episodes last night, and there are so many lines where it's like hinted at that he's never been good. Like there's the worst offender is in The Timeless Children. He's like, I believe you're appealing to my better nature. And we both know I don't have one of those. It's like, oh my god, you can't be that blunt and not address Missy.
It's like, yes, what? I know you do.
I was just sat there thinking,
it's right there, the opportunity.
Like, I wouldn't care as long as they just address it with just one line. It's a thing with the Whittaker Era in general. Like, there are a lot of situations where she could just say, it could be this. And then that's it. We've accounted for it. Like, she did it once in that Praxis episode. She went, it could be Autons. No, it's not Autons. It's like, that's all you have to say. That's it. Then it's okay. Address what it could be. Because, like, the Tesla episode, she should have gone, you look like the Rachnos. You have the shape of the Rachnos. You look just like the Rachnos. But she just goes, wow, you're a bit spider looking or whatever. I can't remember what she said. I didn't watch that episode last night, but she says something along those lines. Yeah. And I'm just like, in my head, the whole episode is like, she's like the Rachnos. You are not addressing that she looks like the Rachnos. Address it in one line that she looks like the Rachnos. We're done. Like, it's
throw it away, because I just say what all us Doctor Who fans are thinking, and you'd think, because Chibnall is like a massive Doctor Who fan, and you'd think, maybe I should throw in this one little throwaway line that casual viewers would just completely go over their heads, but all us Doctor Who fans would be like, oh, nice, I see what you did there.
Yeah, just the one line. That's all it needed. Just a little acknowledgement.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they clearly do, like, remember the canon and stuff. Like, they made a great effort to mention about Gallifrey being in the Pocket Universe, even though he burned it to the ground.
Yeah.
Deep breaths.
Breathe.
Deep breaths. That I screamed out in a very nasty way and used some very choice language when I actually saw Gallifrey was destroyed. I was very, very unhappy about that. Right, in fact, let's forget it. Let's go straight into the Whittaker Era. We might as well go, because otherwise I'm going to sound like I
mean, we're digging our way there.
We're digging our way in. And it sounds like I really hate the era, but I don't, because, like, to me, I mean, I said this kind of a little bit earlier, it's more like, I haven't gelled as well with it as I wanted to. Like, I'm not one of those people who was like, oh my god, the Doctor can't be a woman. Like, I was like, if they get the casting right, the Doctor being a woman is not a problem. Yeah. It's just not. I would have loved someone like Joanna Lumley to be the Doctor. I think she would have been fantastic, but Jodie Whittaker is amazing. She's so good. She's a great actress, and she nails what she's given. To me, I think a lot of the time the stories she's given don't do her justice. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think, I mean, you might agree with me, but I've said it a billion times, and I feel like Series 12 was definitely a step in the right direction.
Oh yeah,
for
100%.
Whittaker. Series 11 is this strange phenomenon that I have a love-hate relationship with. I watched it at the time. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the new style of the show. I was like, wow, this looks so modern. And I was kind of the sheer not juxtaposition, but just the difference between Capaldi and Jodie. I was like, okay, I can kind of get with this. I understand.
Yeah.
But they're just like these standalone episodes that don't really have any link apart from maybe like Ryan and Graham's relationship being something that kind of carries the show.
Captivating.
But yeah, it's just a very, very strange thing. But then as soon as series 12 came around, it's like, oh wow, we're actually seeing Jodie show an emotion other than being happy. It's like, oh wow, you've got the Master reveal straight away, which I had no idea about. I didn't even know that was going to happen.
Oh, so
and then halfway through the series, I'm like, screw it, let's chuck Captain Jack in there, and screw it, why not another Doctor? Which I mean, I know ticked off a lot of people, but we still haven't seen it pan out fully yet. So everyone just hold your horses just yet. But I mean, like series 12, I admire the ambition, and whilst I don't think it's definitely not a 10 out of 10 series, I was like, there's so like everything is in place. All the pieces are there for the Whittaker era. I think we just get annoyed because they don't quite do it. Like, even as you were saying, like, give us one line about the Rachnos. Give us one line about, something else. I feel like, yeah, they're getting there, which is why I'm getting myself excited for Series 13. But at the same time, my expectations for Series 12 were kind of lowered because of Series 11, and then it just took me off my feet straight away. So I don't know, and I know Series 13 is probably going to be a long way away. But yeah, I feel like the Whittaker era, all the pieces are there. They just don't quite know how to fully utilize it, which is annoying.
It is a bit annoying. See, what was funny with Series 11 was I absolutely adored her first episode. I thought that was fantastic. I really liked her debut.
Absolutely. It's got such a great vibe.
I mean, like, I can throw a lot of shade at Series 11, and I probably will. Like, despite me saying I don't mind the era in it, like, it just isn't my favourite. Like, there is a lot of points I really, like, have problems with on Series 11. One of the things that annoys me is the first episode gives you a really good amount of character development for all three of the characters, and then afterwards, it's just like, okay, these are bland, no backstory characters that are just following the Doctor around now. Because, like, Yaz we go into the stuff with Yaz being a police officer, wanting to do more. You've got Ryan with the dyspraxia. You've got Graham with, like, surviving his cancer and having Grace and all that. Like, there's some fantastic story writing there. And it's so well done. And then you go into the Ghost Monuments, and it's like, oh, we're just walking along a desert for 50 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was like, and it's inconsistencies in character. Like, Ryan is like, oh, I can't ride a bike. But his hand-eye coordination's good enough to be able to start firing lasers at robots. And I'm like, I thought you had dyspraxia. Huh? What? Like,
it doesn't.
Yeah, and there was another thing I saw there was a video essay that talked about Series 11, and they picked up on, like, 2 consecutive episodes of Series 11, and in one, Jodie goes, I love a good conspiracy. And then the next one, she's like, don't like conspiracies. And it's like, what? Who? Did you not, like, vet
Does
the
anyone
scripts?
proofread? Yeah.
Did no one, like, proofread these things? And then, like, the issue, I mean, the political issue with Series 11 and Series 12 is something that gets a lot of stuff. I personally don't think it's too political, because Doctor Who's always been political. I think the problem they've got is that it's lost the subtlety. They used to be very, very good about, like, subtly planting the messages, whereas now it's like, this is the message, we're shoving it in your face. Racism is bad. Did you know racism is bad? Make sure you know racism is bad. And it's like, I get it, and I can get why people are getting hacked off. I think it's just a script writing issue. Like, if they improve the writing a bit, it could be much, much better worded. Because I know as a watcher myself, because I'm not someone who gets, like, annoyed at that stuff at all, but I can remember in Series 11 getting towards the end of the series, and, like, when something happened, and go, oh, there's the PC message of the week. And it shouldn't be like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just...
No, it shouldn't.
Like, I think it was with Kablam, because I really liked Kablam. I was really enjoying the episode, and it was like, I'm going to blow up all these people to send a message. I'm like, terrorism, okay. Like, it's just...
Okay. No, well, I feel like... Unfortunately, like... I mean, like, there are a lot of obvious messages in the Whittaker era, Orphan 55. But
oh, God, don't...
Benny.
But anyway. Benny! Oh my God, that actually wasn't too bad. Oh my God, that scared me.
Yeah, no, it sounded great on my end. But anyway, I feel like, unfortunately for the Whittaker era, I feel like since it was, she was cast as, the first female Doctor, a lot of, that was like an instant, not invitation, but basically an invitation for people to attack the show, and it just opened up this big can of worms. And, like, as you were saying, you didn't have a problem, I didn't have a problem. I was like, heck, like, I mean, we've had Missy, and she's just had a brilliant arc. I mean,
yeah,
I've got nothing against female Time Lords, and, I know the Doctor has always been a white male, but I mean, it's taken 13 times to shake it up a bit. Why not? And I think, she is doing great with what she has been given. But I feel like, unfortunately, with these 2 series so far and all this mixed reviews, like, I hope that in the future, this doesn't mean like the next showrunner or whatever is going to be like, okay, let's play it safe and get in, the guy from Fantastic Beasts, Eddie Redmayne or something like that. I don't know why that was the first thing that came to my head. That was the closest Matt Smith lookalike.
To be fair, when I watched the first Fantastic Beasts film, the thing I couldn't get out of my head was that he was very 11th Doctor.
Exactly.
The bow tie, the mannerisms, I was like, oh my god, they have written him like Matt Smith. My god.
Well, apparently Matt Smith was considered for that role, which I find wild.
That does not surprise me in the slightest.
Yeah.
But I think they probably realised how 11th Doctor it was and went, maybe we should cast somebody else.
They're like, oh wait, he's already done that.
Yeah, he's been down that road. He won't want to revisit that. No.
No. We'll get Eddie.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I feel like, as I was saying, all the pieces are there. And like, as you were saying, like the first episode sets up these characters so well.
Yeah.
Ridiculously well. And then they have literally not done much with them since. Like, Graham and Ryan's arc was pretty much done in series 11. That was great. Series 12, I can't name anything notable that they did to like contribute to the story. Yaz, I mean, she didn't do much in series 11. She got a little bit of development in series 12, but still hasn't done much. And it's like, how did we have Martha and Donna and Bill all have one series, and I feel like I knew them way, way better than these 3 strangers that we're seeing on screen every week? I don't know. It's a very strange thing.
And it's funny because like people saying like a 4-man TARDIS team doesn't work, but it's like we've got 2 very good examples of when a 4-man TARDIS team did work. You've got like series 1 when you've got 9, Mickey, Rose, and Jack, but like the difference is each of those had a chance to develop. You had the Doctor and Rose first, get the relationship up, introduce Jack, explain who he is, introduce Mickey, and like all of them came together at the end in one of the last episodes, and it worked really well. Same with 11, Amy, Rory, and River. They all had chance to develop one by one. When you bring them together, they gelled and worked really well. When you get 3 people, give them a bit of story, throw them together, and then just leave them in there as basically like blank slates with a bit of backstory that you don't address, it's not the same. And
it's not the same at all.
I really, really hate to say it because there's never been a companion that I don't like, but every time Ryan speaks, I just roll my eyes. I don't like Ryan. I've got to be honest with you. I really.
Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, I don't not like the guy, but I mean they've not given him much to work with, and you're like, oh, for goodness sake.
There's
like,
that, but
I know you've just thrown in a line so that he would say something this episode.
So I don't know, but like Yaz, I mean, I love Bradley Walsh for Graham. I mean, he's like more of an icon in the UK for all like the different things he's been on. Like, I don't know whether you've heard of The Chase. It's like a quiz show that he's hosted now.
Oh well, no, we have all those episodes.
You have all that stuff. Like, I've loved Bradley because of The Chase for well over a decade. He was in one of the soap operas, Coronation Street in the UK for ages. I liked him in that because I watch soap operas because I'm a weird person like that. And there was other stuff he'd been in as well. He was in an episode of Sarah Jane Adventures, and that was what was funny because I predicted he was going to be in Doctor Who because of that, because there was an article, like, I don't know whether it was about Sarah Jane Adventures monsters or just general Doctor Who universe monsters, the BBC posted, and one of the entries was his character in Sarah Jane Adventures and went, Oddbob was played by the great Bradley Walsh. Whatever happened to him, eh? And I was like, are you trying to say he's going to be in Doctor Who? And then literally a couple of weeks later, introducing the companions, Bradley Walsh was like, oh my god, what?
That's so cool. that's nifty.
He's
that's very
great,
nifty.
even if he is the comic relief, or as the Master pointed out, just there for the running commentary. Like that, like he does it brilliantly. He's great. He's so charismatic. And Yaz, I really like. I just wish she was given more to do. Because, like, in the future of the Jadoon, it's like, hey, we suddenly remembered she's a police officer and we're going to use that now in the script. It's like, remember it every episode then. Give us something to do, please. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted more from her in Fugitive of the Jadoon. I remember when they announced the Jadoon episode, one of my key talking points was, oh, this could be really interesting. Like, Yaz could talk about, how police operate here and why, the Jadoon should be a little less harsh and stuff. But, anyway, they didn't. I mean, she had like one line in there.
She kind of backed up the Doctor,
pretending to make up. Yeah, Yeah, the doctor had to prompt her, be like, "Remember, you're a police officer." Anyway,
She did say at one point that she was like, "Oh, I'll go and distract them. You know, I can use some police stuff to buy some time." I was like, "Okay, you go in there. That's not so bad."
you're like, okay, yeah.
But
Oh well, hopefully. I mean,
yeah.
series 13, please.
And that's the other thing, the gaps in between the series. I mean, let's face it, we've had gaps before. I mean, hang on, you jumped on with series 5-ish, so
Yes.
you didn't have the year gap with David Tennant's specials. That was
No.
the first one that was very jarring for me. It was like, we're not gonna have a series, we're gonna have a few specials. But like when they said a few specials, I thought they meant like one every few months. But it was like Easter, November, Christmas, New Year. It was so weirdly paced out. It was very strange. The mid-season finales for 6 and 7 were very weird. Wasn't as bad for 6 because
That's
were the
right.
same year. But then 7 they were spread across different years.
I remember that.
I wasn't so sure about that. And then with Capaldi, they just went, "Hey, we're going to take a year out after series 9 and just do 2 Christmas specials." And it was, I think that probably also didn't help because I was still, like I said, I liked Capaldi at the time, but he wasn't my favorite, so I was not quite as bothered, I guess, by the year break.
Such a big gap.
I don't know. I was just kind of like, you know. I've heard different reasons to why that was. Some people say it's because Series 9 got really bad, was really badly received, which, if that's the case, then no. Like, there were stories in there that were a bit weak. Like, I really liked Maisie Williams in that as the Shielder. I thought she was great.
Yeah, as did I.
There was a much better name they could have given her than me. I get why they called her me, but my God, that was annoying. But she was a great character. She was a great addition. There aren't really any stories in there that are bad. The girl who died is, you know, it's like you know,
it's probably the girl who died is probably the weakest. But I enjoyed how they were like, you know what, let's pretty much make the whole thing 2-parters. And I know Sleep No More also gets a bit of hate, but I was like, they're trying something different with this first person perspective. Yeah, it's a very eerie story. But yeah, no, I think the one reason I heard was that because Capaldi was kind of like worn out from filming back to back. With those series, but I don't know if that's true. Like it was probably just production problems, being like, we can't do this again. Give us a break. And then we had that one episode.
It could be the filming. Because I remember he said on the Graham Norton show when he came on like to publicize series 10, he was like, we've been shooting for 10 months. Like it was shoot day 205, I think he said. So, and he hadn't done the Christmas special. So it's like if you're spending most of the year doing like 12 episodes, like I can understand why you'd start to be like a bit. Maybe I'm getting towards the end of my tether, and it does seem to be a common pattern for everyone to do like 3 seasons and then pack it in. Bar Christopher,
and then absolutely
bring him back.
But it would have been so cool if he did 3, but oh well, it makes series 1 all the more special, I guess.
But yeah, so with Whittaker's run, and this is the problem, like, because a lot of it I blame on Chibnall. I just don't think he's as good a showrunner as he could be. Like he's letting the slide go a bit, and I'm like, I don't want Jodie to go. But when she goes, I kind of almost hope that Chris Chibnall goes too, because unless he improves his writing,
as am I.
If he improves it, that's good. But like it was like when the Timeless Children was coming on, which I think it's probably about time we touch on. But when Jodie was like, I'm going to sacrifice myself, I'm like, if she's going to die right now, get rid of Chibnall too. Go, both of you, just go, get out of here, leave, please, go.
Yeah.
And I hated myself for saying it. But I was like, yeah, go on, do it. Do it, Jodie, do it.
You won't.
Yeah, like, no balls, go on. Like, it was just...
Go on.
So I'm just, I don't know. But, so...
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, I feel like we kind of forget that the showrunner and the Doctor are not a package deal at all. Both Davies and Moffat were able to have 2. And so it's like, well, like, I feel like if Whittaker leaves, like, this era of the show isn't over.
Yeah, this is what I'm thinking.
This is like, we're gonna have to get used to that. So
I don't know.
It's an interesting one. But I don't know. I know Chibnall. There was an article who was like, I don't read reviews, but I'm like, surely he would have heard some of the backlash of some of the. Like there is like, you know, I mean, I was looking at my comment section today, and I recently did a video on like why the Doctor Who 2020 special has to succeed. And so many of the comments were like, nah, I've given up on the show. Nah, I'm done. Rip Doctor Who, yada, yada. I'm like, that's like a weekly thing for me.
Yeah.
And it didn't always used to be like in like peak Matt Smith. I mean, oh my word. There was a lot of praise.
Remember when the only thing people complained about was Clara? Wow, those were the days.
Yeah, well, simpler times, really.
Oh, simpler times. But no, I mean,
Oh my word.
for Series 11, like you said, it was very weird and they were all singular episodes. I personally found no classic monsters being a bit jarring.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't really think you can have a Doctor Who series without at least having a bit of the Cybermen or a bit of the Daleks, just something, you know? Like, it just
Yeah.
felt a bit weird to have that. And then also when all the monsters were just really boring or just like just white men. Like there was a couple of them. It was just like I'm a bad guy. And it's like, oh cool, you're the villain. Is that it? Okay, right, cool. It's starting to feel more like NCIS than Doctor Who, but all right, cool. Fair, I'll go with it. I liked Tim Shaw in the first episode, but as soon as he came back in the finale,
as did I.
rolled my eyes. I was like, "There's no way you're making him the villain of the final."
The
Why?
main one. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Just they ruined
No,
such a good
it was a bit
character.
strange.
But Series 12, I remember seeing the trailers and being like, oh my god, they're going to right the wrongs, they're going to get some really good stuff in here, I'm really excited for it. And watching Spyfall, I lost it when the Master came on. I was like, oh my god, it's like, because I clocked it as it happened, as he went Spy Master. A lot of people didn't clock it. And what's really funny about it was, I was saying this to you before we started recording, for anyone who watches Nerd Cubed, he does a podcast on Spotify discussing Doctor Who, and he was talking about the reveal. And the main debate was like, how far into the Master reveal did you realise it was the Master? And then the next episode, when they talked about Spyfall Part 2, they went, my best review of the podcast was last episode. Someone commented saying they didn't realise it was a Master reveal until we started talking about it. And I was like, imagine not clocking it, listening to a podcast and going,
like,
oh my god, it's the Master. How did I
about?
not see that? Like,
Yeah.
the TARDIS
that's
was quite
brilliant.
subtle though. The house flying. That was like, I didn't get that was the TARDIS. And he went on the podcast, he was like,
Yeah,
did you
I
realise
was
the house
so
was the
confused by
TARDIS?
that.
And I was like, oh, it's the
I was like, what?
Oh, okay, I get it now. It was like, yeah. But that two-parter was fantastic until, as I said, they decided to blow up Gallifrey. The literal thing that was, the main plot for the best part of a decade. Chris Chibnall just went, the 5th anniversary, bomb that off.
Screw it.
Let's just burn Gallifrey again.
Yeah.
I was like,
No, I mean, I feel like I don't have as much of a problem with it as you do, and I'm not quite sure why that is. I mean, I know I should be mad that they destroyed Gallifrey, but I mean, they went back there anyway for the finale in its like ruins or whatever. But as if the Master destroyed the entirety of Gallifrey.
this is the
That's,
thing. The whole planet, like, destroy the Citadel if you want to. Like,
yeah, exactly. I would have been fine with. That's how I imagine it. I think that's my coping mechanism.
yeah, like the Time Lords are who you're mad at, not, all the people that we saw in the 5th anniversary who were cowering and scared and were going to die. How many children are on Gallifrey that day? 2 point whatever billion. Like, well, the Master killed all those too because he was mad at a few Time Lords. Like, that's just... Oh, I was not happy. I groaned out quite loud about that. But I really like when I was watching them yesterday, because yesterday, for context, I watched Spyfall Parts 1 and 2, Fugitive of the Jadoon, Haunting of Villa Diodati, Essentially the Cybermen, and Timeless Children. Like, all of the key episodes.
That's the way you watch Series 12.
Yeah,
that
they're the
is
key
the
ones.
way you watch
They're the
Series
key
12.
ones.
Absolutely.
I will rewatch this at some point, even Orphan 55, if I can grin and bear it. But, like, I was sort of thinking, you know what?
Good luck.
I get, like, they couldn't have done this finale without destroying Gallifrey. I get it. They did it for the sake of the plot. But if they just... Let's go there. The Timeless Child. As far as I'm concerned, right, I found that whole thing... The first time I watched the episode, I thought that was a good finale. I was, like, quite happy with it. The more I thought about it, the more I got annoyed at what they did to the canon, especially listening to the podcast about it. Like, Nerd Cubed was... very, very unhappy. Like, he literally tweeted out, I was like, the episode's a bit late because my editor is having to take out many calls to violence from me. And I was like, oh god. And if you listen to it, it's like...
Teary.
It's not good. He's really not happy with Chibnall. Like, it's the comments he makes. But, no, like, my whole thing about it, I actually really like the story of them finding the child, stealing the power of regeneration. That seems very Time Lord. Very, like, snooty, up themselves, pompous. That does not surprise me. The only issue I have is making the Doctor the child.
That's exactly it. I've made a whole video on that.
Yeah, literally. Like, all they had to do was change one word. Not make it the Doctor.
Yeah.
Make it the Master. That would have...
Make the Master,
That'd be fine. Because people still, like, I'm pretty sure from, like, the classic era, like, there was an episode where the Master had, like, used all his regenerations and he was, like, a lifeless husk or something. There was something along those lines. And at that point, he'd supposedly run out of lives.
Yeah.
And he's still going around now. And it's like... That would explain why the Master's still going around, why he's always going to be a villain, and it would still mean the stakes for the show, because now Jodie could just die and be fine. It ruins Matt Smith's ending, because apparently he couldn't regenerate, and the Time Lords gave him extra lives, when the Time Lords knew all along that Matt Smith could have just gone, actually, do you know what? I'm going to just change into a Scotsman now. Like, it's...
Yeah.
And there's so many points like that, and it's like... it's such a great concept, and you had to waste it by making it Jodie. If you just made the Master, because then that also would give him more reason to destroy all of Gallifrey. He'd be even more mad.
It would justify, be like, what the hell was that you guys doing that to me?
My
as a
whole
kid,
life is a lie.
Yeah.
Instead, he's just like, I've got a bit of the Doctor in me. Okay, I'm going to burn everybody. Like, it's like,
yeah, exactly. It's ridiculous. It's not going to happen. But the Master is renowned for, being deceiving and lying.
This is my thinking.
That's a pretty big lie to have. But I hope Chibnall sees something. He's like, oh damn, maybe the Master being the timeless child is actually a pretty good idea. Let me tweak a few things.
I genuinely think they're gonna Rise of Skywalker it, and they're gonna be like the lights it looks like some are getting broken, and all of a sudden in Rise of Skywalker it's just fixed. It's gonna be like, oh no, even better, the Rey's parents. That's a better comparison. I said they were nobody because they chose to be nobody. It's like, the timeless child is real. It's just not you. It's actually me. I was just, and they'll probably do it in some like nod way, like, hey, I know you didn't like you being the timeless child. Well, guess what? It's actually me. Like, I think they could easily slide that into 13, and I'm kind of hoping they do. Not only because it would give a reason for Sasha to come back, because my God, best part of Series 12 by a mile was his Master. He was so good.
We can very much agree on that. Very much, and he came out of nowhere. And I hadn't seen him in anything else before.
Yeah.
But I saw him in this, and he was brilliant. And I was like, oh, cool. And have you seen The Great?
I haven't.
Do you know what The Great? Oh, anyway, it's got what's his name? Oh, I can't remember. Anyway, he's in that, and he plays this poet, and he's like very, very nice and humble. And it's like I've never seen two like different performances in my life. Like this Sacha Dhawan, wow, what an absolute steal for the show.
Yeah, he's very good. I'm looking through because I swear I've seen him somewhere before. I'm trying to see in his Wikipedia for something I recognise him from, because I do know him. I've seen him before somewhere, but I can't seem to spot anything in his.
Oh, he was in that Adventure in Space and Time. He played the director of the first episode of Doctor Who. If you've seen that Mark Gatiss special they did for the 50th.
Yeah, he was in that, but I hadn't seen that until very recently as well. I only watched that when they did the rewatch. I never watched it at the time for some reason. I don't know why. I know. I've actually, fun fact. Have you seen Sarah Jane Adventures?
Yes.
Yeah. He's actually currently dating Rani's actress.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I remember reading that.
I think I saw a picture of that on Twitter. I'm like, huh?
Yeah, he's 36 and she's 30. I feel so old that Rani is now 30. Like, what?
Oh my god.
To be fair, she was probably like a good bit older than she looked when
yeah.
Because they kind of had to be, and you don't realize it as a kid.
That's how they do. Well, I mean, Ryan's supposed to be like 17.
No, he's not. He can't be.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
No way. One of his first. I'm pretty sure. I think he might bring that up in like The Woman Who Fell to Earth at the very start when he's got his own YouTube channel. He's like, hi, I'm 17. I'm like, get out of town.
As soon as
Please
that opened
like
up,
and
it was like,
subscribe.
oh, look at this going all modern. He's on YouTube. Wow, cool.
He's on the YouTube.
He's got the channel going.
I wish that they could have done more with that. They also what was it? It wasn't Praxius, was it? It might have been Praxius when they had those two vlogger travel girls. I'm like, Ryan,
yeah,
you could bring up your YouTube channel right now. Ask for even have a throwaway line being like, oh, how many subscribers do you have?
He basically did what most kids do when they want to do YouTube. They go, I'm going to do YouTube. They get all the equipment, make one video, and then never do it again. Yeah. Because let's face it, most people that try YouTube end up doing that. It's like, it's only the losers like us that actually stick with it for years on end.
Yeah, you poor people having to listen to us for all these years. Thank you for sticking around.
Oh my god, honest to god, but yeah, that's the thing with Timeless Child. Like it made me angry for a bit, and then I was like, well, actually no, literally all I have to do is change one thing, and it will be fine. And then just, yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, that's what we're saying. Like, Series 13, I feel like it's got a lot to answer. And I kind of hope with Revolution of the Daleks, they don't address it too much. Like, it's just a fun Christmas or New Year's special or whenever this is. I kind of just hope that it's just like, I want Jodie for a lot of it. I want just Jodie, because we haven't had a solo Jodie episode. And I hope we get at least 20 minutes of the episode dedicated to just her in this prison. With her thoughts and how she's going to escape. But yeah, anyway, Series 13's got a lot riding on it.
The final thing I want to go on, because I want to ask what our theories were for that episode, so nice little segue there.
Brilliant.
Well done. You're doing my job for me.
I apologize.
So what, so you say, obviously you want it to be Jodie-centric. I mean, For context, because I don't know, like, this episode will go live in just under a week's time. I doubt we'll have more news by then, but in case we do, the time we're recording this, all we've seen, 2 screenshots, and we had, like, a little synopsis. That's literally it. Like, everyone was hyping up a trailer, or, like, just anything like that, and then I remember watching the panel being like, oh my god, there's gonna be something here, and it's like, what have you got to share with us? We've got these 2 pictures. And I'm like...
Yeah.
Like, you got up... Didn't you stay up late or, like, get up early for it or something? How did it work with you?
I got up at 4 a.m. to watch the stream because I was like, oh, you know, like a lot of people love when I do like react to stuff like straight away or make a video on it, make a reaction video. So I was like, oh, I haven't done this in a while, so I'll do it. And then I just watched it, and there were these 2 images and the synopsis, and then the thing ended. I'm like, oh, okay.
To be honest, I was more excited by the fact that they're making a game for Xbox. I was like, oh my god, they're making a Doctor Who game on consoles.
That was great. I am so keen for that stuff to come out. I hope I can like live stream that or something.
Like, I thought I heard on that, when they did that panel, they were like, the VR game they did for PC and PSVR, like the Edge of Time one, I'm pretty sure they said they were also going to be porting that to consoles, so you could actually play it. I swear they said
that one's going to be,
Nobody's picked that up. And I said it to somebody on Twitter when they were, like, talking about the game, and I was like, they're also doing this. And I was like, oh, I'm glad you actually listened to it. It seems like most people didn't. And I'm like, yeah, because nobody's talking about it. I mean, I know it wasn't very well received, but still, like, it's a Doctor Who game on console. The only Doctor Who game I've ever played on my console was Doctor Who Top Trumps. Like,
oh,
don't get me wrong, that was a great game as a kid, but like, I actually want to play a fun Doctor Who game, like.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's going to be very, very exciting, and I know a lot of people are keen to actually be able to play that on the Xbox,
and the
PS4, I think, and Switch. Have
you seen, like, all the people getting annoyed now that David Tennant's in everything? Like, there were so many Twitter comments like, oh my god, can you just let David Tennant...
Oh yeah, no, I did see that on Twitter.
Yeah. And I'm like, I never thought we'd get to a point where we had too much David Tennant. Like, I did not think anyone would ever reach that point. Like, I'm never going to hit that point.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, oh, because they teamed up in the comics. It's like, mate, do you really think everyone reads the Doctor Who comics? They don't.
Yeah.
Like, you know, people who read those are just getting even more of the good stuff. Like, let them interact. Let them interact. I get the idea of, you know, they should have all the Doctors in there. And, you know, if they're going to bring Tennant back, they could also bring... Aldi, please, I beg, or Matt, or like, you know, they could.
I feel he'll come back eventually.
Or Paul McGann.
Eventually. I mean, we'll hold out for the 60th.
It was so on the nose the way that quote of David Tennant's in that trailer was literally Paul McGann's quote from Night of the Doctor.
Just straight
that was
from that
so on the
minisode,
nose.
yeah.
I loved it, but I was like, oh my god, stop teasing me. Like, Paul is the biggest the biggest dropped ball in the whole thing for me, because the TV movie I've not watched for a while, but I remember enjoying it. But like,
I haven't seen it. I want to do a video on it.
You haven't seen it?
No,
get the
I have
Blu-ray.
not seen the
It's literally on Amazon. Get the Blu-ray. Do it.
I plan. I think next year is going to be. I mean, I haven't put much thought into it, but next year will be my Classic Who year, because I don't think we're going to get a series next year. So I was like, okay, well, I'll see if I can, you know, do some kind of Classic Who content. But yeah, the TV movie is high up there on my watch list.
Yeah, from what I remember, it's a good film. It's just not amazing. I mean, I might watch it like now and be like, oh, okay, it's not amazing. But I remember Paul McGann was like the standout. He was a great casting for the Doctor. But just those 5 or 6 minutes in that Night of the Doctor episode before the 5th anniversary, like, that is some of Stephen Moffat's finest writing, I think, in like the whole of his run.
So exciting.
And it's like,
Paul
McGann could have had a whole series like that, and it would have been so good. Like, that is such a wasted opportunity. Like, now, if they try and do, like, a spin-off for Ruth, which I'm thinking they might be considering, which I'm kind of like, all right, fine, whatever. Like, if they do that and don't give Paul McGann a shot, I'm going to be really upset, because that man deserves it.
Yeah, I mean, look, imagine if they, like, even got Moffat just to do, like, maybe an 8-episode anthology. And just, like, a one-off thing.
Only on BritBox.
Oh, my word. Yeah.
Oh my god, that'd be fantastic. That'd be so good. Oh, I really hope they take that, because it's just like he slid right back into it. It had been like what 16 years since the TV movie, and he just slid right back into it. He was right into it.
Came back and you're like,
he was
wow.
almost like he was better. Like, the writing made him a better Doctor, and it was just like, how can you take so long off, come back and be that good? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, only Paul McGann. Only Paul McGann could.
Bring him in the 60th as well. Get them all in. Let's have 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Jodie's left by then we could have 7 Doctors. Who knows? Imagine.
Who knows?
It might get a bit hard to struggle that many, but boy, I'll take it. I would take it with like ease, with pride. I'd be so happy.
Yeah, no, split them up and then give them all at least a scene each to justify why they're there, and then have the Daleks or whatever, and we're having a good time.
But as for Evolution of the Daleks for the Christmas special, I just...
Yes.
There is also like the new design of the Daleks, which I like. I like the new kind of like sleek thing. Although I do think that they're quite small, and I wonder how an actual Dalek fits into the casing. Like, I don't really know how much they thought that through. Like, unless they're like really skinny
I didn't even
Daleks.
think about that.
Like, I was like, how are they fitting inside that?
All cramped in there.
I'm sorry for ruining the illusion.
I didn't really think about that.
But
no, that's alright. I'm just gonna be thinking about that the whole episode. Be like, how do they get in there?
But now all we've got left is Captain Jack. We'll just bring him back. That's what we need. We just need Captain Jack.
Yeah, look, I mean, there's been so much talk, and like that's what all anyone else is saying, and I feel like if they don't have him back at this point, then it's just I don't know. Who started that rumor then?
Well, you see, I think I remember it was because there was a video on Doctor Who's YouTube channel, and it was something about like Jodie and Mandip were like playing some kind of game together, and it was while they were filming the series. And in the corner of the screen, there was a guy with like a blue shirt on and braces that they couldn't make out the face of, but like he was in the distance, and it was like, is that John Barrowman? Because if it is, that means they've both been filming on the same set, and if that's the case, because they filmed the Christmas special right after Series 12, it would stand to reason that they might actually have a scene together, at least a scene.
Exactly.
And I think that was what mainly started off, and I'm like thinking, well, that'd be great. Plus, I actually forgot how blunt he was in Future to Jadoon until last night about seeing her. Like, he literally says, "I'll see her soon." It's like, okay, you're definitely setting
Well,
that
I mean,
up,
like, he has to come back at some point, but I don't know if they're saving him for Series 13. But I mean, look, a lot of stuff pointing to this, like Christmas or New Year's special. So we can only hold out. But I don't want to be disappointed in that, like, even if it's a good episode, in the fact that he doesn't rock up.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
we'll see.
Who's going to save her from the prison? Like, she's clearly been in there for ages, judging from that picture. And from the other picture, the fam, not a fan of that term, really don't like it. Not going to lie. Like, it was funny in the first episode, but actually calling them the fam, no. But, like, seeing them all being like,
I've got a video coming up. I've got a video coming up on why Doctor Who's fam doesn't work. And I will literally be talking about some of the examples you brought up of the other TARDIS fams. I was like, when you were saying that, I was like, oh my gosh, he's read my script for my next video.
You want a special guest? Bring me on. I'm down.
Absolutely.
Oh my god.
But yeah, no, the fam term has
so
died off a bit. But I mean, look, if we're speaking about Revolution of the Daleks, there is a huge rumor that Ryan and Graham will be departing the show, and Yaz will be staying on for Series 13, which I find, look, it's gonna be a very interesting episode if that happens, because as I was saying just then, like, I hope that Jodie gets a bit more screen time. But if it's gonna be a companion exiting episode, or two companions exiting, they kind of need to do them justice for me to feel anything for them, or not be like, all right, well, that was those two.
I wonder whether it's too little too late than they do, especially with Ryan. Like, even if they gave him like a reason, like, it might be like, oh, now I'm actually sad for him to go, because like right now, like, I heard Ryan was going and I was like, good. Like, it sounds really bad, and I don't mean it as bad as it sounds, but it's kind of like you're getting rid of the dead weight, because he's just not the person I'm interested in. Like, Graham and Yaz were the people I really liked, and now Graham's going too, and I'm like, Bradley, no, but he is like 60 years old. I can imagine 2 years of Doctor Who is probably a bit grueling for him.
Yeah, it's like,
absolutely. But I hope they just keep Yaz. I hope they don't start bringing more people in, because then Yaz can actually get a chance to develop properly. But yeah, so I hope that if they do get rid of them both, they do them justice like you. And I personally think, because the fam can't rescue, I really am never going to say that again, because the group cannot like rescue Jodie, they don't know where she is, they don't know how to get to her. It just makes sense that Jack might pop up in a Jadoon prison, but considering he was being chased by like, people for stealing something. Was he being chased by Jadoon? I don't think he was. But he was being chased by somebody. I don't think he was being chased by, but he was on the run. He was in a big old rush. So they could, that person could,
I mean, it's a very good point.
They could hire Jadoon to catch him.
Yeah. It'd be such an exciting pre-title sequence with, Captain Jack breaking the Doctor out of prison. Or them both being like, or if they're like cellmates or something. Oh, imagine that. If they were just cellmates.
And then we get another like Utopia style scene. Like that, have you had work done? Like that scene is fantastic.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's so good.
My. Anyway,
Like the grin on his face.
This is what I'm talking about. Getting my hopes up.
Oh my god, the grin on his face when Graham said that the Doctor was a she. Now, like, he literally, like, he was gonna like, wet himself in front of Graham. He was like, oh my god, that's fantastic.
Bloody brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I really just hope. And as for the air date, for God's sake, make it Christmas.
Oh, it'd be an absolute treat.
I mean, I literally commented on your video about this. Like, I like the whole thing about we don't know when to put the Christmas, the festive special. Like, from what I'd heard, it's what I said in the comment. It's like, I'd heard that they basically run out of ideas to use Christmas, and so they just avoided the Christmas time slot. But it's like, for years, they've not really properly followed it. I mean, the Return of Dr. Mysterio was literally just a superhero CW rip-off episode, and it was snowing. There was nothing Christmassy to it. Like, I mean, the most current reference was that Capaldi went, I flooded downstairs with Pokemon. Like, that was like the Pokemon go time. Yeah. Like, and then Twice Upon a Time was just the Christmas armistice, but even then, it was still like a good finale to them. Like, it doesn't have to be all about Christmas. You could just set it at Christmas.
Yeah,
I mean,
just
like,
set it
New Year's.
at Christmas.
Like, the New Year's special resolution. What was there that was really like, oh, we're a bit hungover after the New Year's party? New Year's. It's like, well, you could be a bit hungover after having a bit too much drink with the chicken. Like, you know, like...
Exactly.
Like, there was nothing really particularly, like, New Year's only about that episode. They could have easily made it Christmas and just not really touched on the Christmas themes. There wouldn't have been much of a need. Oh, that reminds me of that special that they got rid of Unit. Oh, I've just forgotten about that until now.
I mean, I like that episode, but then that just rubbed me the wrong way. I'm like, oh, come on. Like, imagine if Kate Stewart would just join that episode. That'd be so exciting.
Oh, no.
The rumor is that Revolution of the Daleks is like a soft sequel, because I think in Resolution, the Dalek like sent a message to the Dalek fleet or something, and the rumor is that this episode will start with that message being sent.
Ah, okay.
Apparently.
I reckon if Jodie sticks to the whole, like, going after 3 seasons thing, this is a theory I've literally just come up with now, but if she sticks to the 3 series thing, I reckon she'll go at Christmas, like most of the Doctors, and it'll be, like, the final one of a trilogy of Dalek stories. Like, this will all link together.
That's quite satisfying.
Yeah, that'd be quite good if they did that, like a final Dalek story, and that's the one where she bows out on. That would be interesting. That would be very interesting. Like a multi-Christmas story. They've never done that before. That could be interesting. I'd be down for that.
Yeah, a little Christmas trilogy.
But like, I remember seeing someone being like, "Oh, there's Daleks on a bridge," and it's like there was some bronze Daleks and some of the new Daleks like having a fight or something. Like, it sounds like an actual revolution, which I think they did during, was it Sylvester McCoy's run or Colin Baker's? There was like something about like a Dalek civil war. There were like Imperial Daleks and Rebel Daleks or something. Called? I have the trading cards for it. That's about as far as my knowledge goes.
Yeah.
No, it was like, it said on like little, like the fun facts, there was a civil war between Daleks. I was like, wow, that sounds cool.
Yeah, that sounds pretty awesome.
Kind of like the way that the new Paradigm Daleks in Matt's run killed the old Daleks, which, by the way, like one of my last comments about the show before we bring this to an end, because my God, we've been going for like an hour and 40. I told you we'd
have we? Oh my
like,
word!
The Paradigm Daleks, the coloured ones.
Yeah,
those were great. I don't care what people say. I thought they were fantastic, and I did not like Moffat for chickening out and backing up on that. Like, that upset me. I was like, who cares if some people don't like it? Stick with it. Don't just back it up.
Yeah, look, well, look, I'm a huge Doctor Who fan, but that's probably one of the things I'm like, I don't know. I feel like Victory of the Daleks didn't really mesh all that well with me, but I did love the way they looked in Asylum of the Daleks. They made them kind of glossy, and I'm like, wow. That's pretty cool. Yeah,
like the red one was very, very, very glossy. Like it was literally a game of Where's Wally. I was like going, okay, where
are they?
There's one Paradigm Dalek over there. They haven't completely forgotten they exist. Yeah. Okay, cool. And then it's just a whole parliament full of like 10,000 bronze Daleks, and then just one or two like different coloured ones in between. It's like, wow, you really, really aren't going through with that. Right, cool. But I have so many contradicting opinions like that. Like, I like Love and Monsters. I really like Love and Monsters, and anyone who thinks that I'm stupid for that can go and screw off. The only thing I don't like about Love and Monsters is the ending little paving slab. We have a love life. The joke that sucked. Let's say that, because that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah.
Because when I saw that and I rewatched that, I was like, oh God, that's what you're saying. Because it's like a 10-year-old or however old I was, like 8 or 9. You don't get that.
Doesn't register.
You just think, wow, he's kissing a paving slab. He's doing more than kissing the paving slab, and that is uncomfortable.
Yeah. It's like, come on.
It's an episode. I liked the Absorbaloff. He was goofy, but I quite liked him.
Yeah.
But I like Peter Kay, so that was probably half the reason. I don't know. But
well, I mean, here's my question to you. Do you think that Fear Her is a worse episode than Love and Monsters.
Yes, a million times yes, because I actually don't like Fear Her.
Okay, I'm glad we can agree on that. I think Fear Her is one of my least favorite episodes. I don't know.
It's like the episode builds up to the creature like leaving via the Olympic torch, and all of a sudden the dad's just suddenly coming back again, and it's like, what? The episode? I was ready to get off 5 minutes ago. Why are we suddenly going back here? And then it was all over again. It was very bizarre, and also it has one of the most annoying continuity issues ever, and it's a very, very tiny one, but it really annoys me. If you look at the scene when the Doctor gets the jar of like Marmite and sticks his fingers in and goes to eat it,
the
first time he does it, he puts one finger in, or there's like one finger in his mouth, and then it changes back to Rose, and it goes back to when he's got two fingers in his mouth.
Oh no!
It's a really tiny continuity issue, but it really bugs me.
Well, if I ever go and rewatch Fear Her, I'll be like, oh, that's what he was talking about.
Yeah, I'm sorry for that. I'm very sorry.
That's alright. That's a glass shattering moment.
But yeah, so I hope Revolution of the Daleks will be really good. That's my main thing. I'm just like, having watched The Timeless Children again now, I'm like I feel a bit more psyched up for it, and I hope it's Christmas, because if it is, then it's less than 2 months away now. So
wow, that's a great point. Oh
yeah.
My gosh, it is less than 2 months till Christmas.
I need something in my life that I like. Like there's been very little Star Wars this year. I need to watch The Mandalorian still. I still haven't.
Yeah.
There's been no Marvel films, which is killing me inside. And Doctor Who being like gone for the whole year, and then now they're like, oh, we're hoping to start filming before the end of the year. Like if they start filming soon, they might be able to get it out at the end of 2021.
Maybe.
It will still be like consecutive years, but then if they do, the next season will definitely be 2023. So there'll be a year gap either this time or next time or whatever. Like, ugh. I miss the days when it wasn't hard for them to just make a series every year. Like, you know.
Exactly. I don't know how they did it. I simply don't know how they did it.
No. Maybe because a lot less of it was post. Like, I mean, Lazarus Creature, hello.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the CGI probably was not as strenuous as it used to be, as it is now. You know, I don't know. Because like you said, the cinematography and stuff, like now, like the post production, the cinematography, the CGI in this current run is really like it's taken a step up, definitely.
Oh yeah, it absolutely has. It looks like the Netflix
music,
shows of now. Absolutely.
The music, I'm not so sure about. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do notice that Murray Gold isn't there anymore. I miss him dearly.
I mean, I don't know. I can't really think of any real notable tracks, which is a shame, because you know we had the whole Matt Smith like dun 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 dun.
Well, for me, the Masters one stands out, but I think for a very bad reason, because
why?
I think, and this is just my theory, I think that the composer, was it Segun or Segun? I don't know how you pronounce it. I think he watched the Star Wars films, heard Kylo Ren's theme, and went, that sounds good. Because Kylo Ren's theme's like, dun, 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 dun. And the Spy Master's theme is like, dun, 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 dun. And it's very, very similar. Like, I remember noticing it.
I'm gonna have to
God, that is like...
I'm gonna have to re-listen now.
Yeah. Like, just the bit when he says Spy Master, compare that with the opening bit of Kylo Ren's theme, they're almost identical.
Oh, I can hear it in my head now.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Wow, what an excellent
observation. It might be completely accidental, but once I noticed it, I can't unnotice it now. And it's ironic because I love Kylo Ren's theme and I love the Master's theme, and I'm like, well, you know, if they're similar, then so be it, whatever. I don't know, but...
And whatevs. Yeah.
Like, 13's theme's quite cool, but I've only really properly heard that now because of like looking it on Spotify.
Yeah.
So that I can't really count that. Like, I kind of heard it in episodes, but not properly taken it in. And then I also really like his theme remix. Like, the whole intro for her era is really cool.
Oh yeah,
I like
that's
that.
A bit of fun. That is a bit of fun.
But beyond that, yeah, like I can't name any key tracks. Whereas there's loads. Like, I literally have a playlist because I'm that sad. I literally have a playlist on Spotify called Doctor Who Bops that's just full of like Murray Gold's like finest stuff, and like it's just like Shepherd's Boy.
Murray. Oh yeah. Oh,
the Shepherd's Boy.
It's powerful,
what a masterpiece.
Powerful stuff. On replay.
We need
that was brilliant.
The Series 10 soundtrack. Brilliant. Like, there's so many good bits. Like the Shepherd's Boy. Like what do they say? What's the word for it? Oh God!
What do you want about? What do you want about?
When they redo the Shepherd's Boy in the Doctor Falls, it's like a not a remaster or a remix. It's a different rearrangement.
Oh.
That's it. Rearrangement.
Yeah.
Like when he's walking around like zapping all the Cybermen. It's just like it's far more grand than in Heaven Sent. And I'm like,
that's right.
Oh my God, this is beautiful. Like, it's just like
all
that
it's
stuff.
very clever. It's very clever how they do that.
He said he was working on it. He said that the Series 10 soundtrack was getting closer to becoming a real thing. So I'm hoping that it still releases. Like. But,
who knows?
In fact, speaking of Shepherd's Boy, little fun fact before we bring it to an end. Did you notice in The Day of the Doctor they actually used the Shepherd's Boy at one point? Like that
In
that
the Day
motif
of the
of the shepherd's boy first appears in that. Like if you listen when the three doctors are together and Matt Smith is like, I've changed my mind, we're going to save Gallifrey, you can hear the shepherd's boy motif in the background, and that's where it first pops up. Like you hear the like you do hear that in that episode. And I realised we did the watch along and I went, oh my god, that's the shepherd's boy. And my mum just looked at me very confused, like, the who now? I'm like,
what
the
do you
music
mean?
from Heaven Sent. She's like,
what character?
Like, she was very confused, but I was like, oh my god, I noticed the music. And I don't have those moments with the new composer, and it's a shame.
No.
It's a real shame. Because like even Murray Gold in his first series, the Slovene theme, I mean, hello.
Yeah.
when the spaceship hits Big Ben, that whole thing is so good. And I really like the Slovene as well, so I'm just sliding that one in too. The Slovene are some of my favourite aliens, and I really don't care. The farting jokes are excessive, but as monsters, they're really cool. Which is why Sarah Jane Adventures, using them to death, was fantastic.
Yeah, I think I have a similar standpoint. I'm not for the farting, but I like the concept of them.
Oh, you know, I watched the Sarah Jane Adventures episode with the Blatherine in, like the gift one, like literally a couple of days ago, the Orange Slovene. Because I remember that was like one of my favourite stories of the show. I completely forgot how she killed them in the end. I did not. Do you remember what she did?
I can't remember.
Let's remind you and hear your discomfort. So the whole thing about that plans, the way they fix it is to play like really loud noises, like a really high pitched school bell, like destroys the plans. She sees that the Blatherine are all eating rackweed when she's kidnapped on their ship. She sees some stuff in their guts with it. She then, when they arrive in the attic, gets Mr. Smith to play the noise, and their stomachs explode. And they just blow up. They fart themselves to death because the rackweed was triggered in their stomachs. I watched it and went, oh my god, there's no way that's how you killed them off. I did not. I remember them exploding because I remember there being orange gunk everywhere.
So funny.
But I didn't. I thought she just vinegared them. But I was like,
yeah,
oh, no,
that's what I was imagining, but no.
She just made them fart to death.
That's so
like,
funny.
You can tell it's a kid's show when they pull off stuff like that. Like, oh.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely.
I can imagine Liz Sladen like reading the script and being like, okay, we're making them fart today. All right, okay,
Alrighty. Yep.
Oh, I miss Liz Sladen. She was fantastic.
Absolutely.
She was so good.
Absolutely brilliant.
My God, imagine her meeting Capaldi. That would have been perfect.
That would have. That's bringing tears to my eyes even thinking about that.
Well, actually, I read that Chris Chibnall said that if Liz Sladen had still been around, he would have wanted to bring Sarah Jane back in Series 13, which, if that's true, is lovely. So
that's beautiful.
But it's such a shame. Like, she was so good. Like, even like the episode she did with David Tennant and with Matt Smith, they're both like really, really good episodes.
Yeah,
they're so good. It's just she was just fantastic.
Beautiful.
Like one of the only, in fact, the only classic serial I've watched all parts of is the John Pertwee one with the Sontarans, which is Sarah Jane's first episode, and it was because it was her first episode. I was like, I'm going to watch this, and I'm going to see what I think of it. And I genuinely, for a 70s Doctor Who episode, I really liked it. I thought it was quite cool.
I know that that's Sarah Jane's first, but I don't think I've seen it. So I do look forward to that. You've got some homework for me. You got some homework. I got to listen to Shepherd's Boy. Got to watch a bit of classic Who with Sarah Jane.
The 50th anniversary, just that one bit, just that one scene where they all start to realise what Matt Smith's plan is, and John Hurt's like, oh, that is good. Listen, and you'll hear the motif in there.
That's crazy.
And then also compare Kylo Ren's theme with the Spy Master.
That's the other bit of homework. That's the other bit of homework.
Once you hear, it's funny because I put it in like the Doctor Who Discord, and I was like, listen to these two things and tell me they're not the same. And literally everyone that listened, they were like, no, I can't hear it. And I'm like, how can you not hear this?
How can you not?
It's so painfully obvious. Like, even timestamps the right bits as well. I was just like, how can you not? Okay, whatever. So, I don't know.
Whatever.
Anyway,
I'll let you know.
In the conclusion to what is definitely going to be the longest episode of this show we've had yet. So
sorry, guys. Well done if you made it this far.
Mate, nah, honestly, like, I knew this was going to happen, and I'm very glad, because it's very nice to just kind of theorize about Doctor Who with people, because I don't know a lot of people that still watch the show, to be honest.
Same.
I have a mate that's just recently got into it, but he watched it all on Netflix, and he doesn't have BBC iPlayer. He lives in Ireland, so he hasn't seen the Jodie Whittaker episodes, and I kind of feel bad because I think I left a bad taste in his mouth with regards to Jodie, because I wasn't a big fan at the time I was telling her about it. Like, I'm saying to him now, I'm like, it's okay.
Tell strategic episodes. You can tell strategic episodes to watch.
Yeah, I'll be like, watch these ones. I'll be like, oh, okay, fine. But like, I don't know. It's really nice to be able to talk to someone about it. So
absolutely, thank you very much.
Before we go, are there any future projects / social media / whatever you want to share with people?
Oh gosh. I mean, we're trying to do fortnightly videos, and every other week we'll be doing a live stream, hopefully. So that'll just be on my YouTube. Check me out, Crispy Pro. weekly content. It's a good time. It's good fun, and I do have a Twitter as well if you want to see me on there at Crispy Pro. That's Crispy with 3 E's and a Pro. And yeah, no, that's all. I don't really have anything huge coming up. Except for, I think at the end of the year, I'm going to do a YouTube rewind, which is a bit of fun. We did one last year, and it was very, very good. A lot of people liked it, so hopefully we're doing that this year. It'll be a bit of a different one because of the year that we just had, but yeah, that is coming up. And yeah.
Ooh, so I don't think I've seen your YouTube rewind from last year.
Oh, it's just I just basically got a bunch of YouTubers to film a few cameos and tried to make a somewhat succinct story.
So I've still got time to become a YouTuber and then take part. Okay, sounds good.
Oh, absolutely. If you can do it before
Legit,
New Year's, and then
if I had to pick something else to do a
worries.
YouTube channel on besides gaming, it probably would have been Doctor Who. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, that just seems like a really fun thing to have a channel for. It just seems really cool.
It is fun, and the community is very good. I mean, there are some toxic parts that have sprung up, but an overwhelmingly large majority has been absolutely pleasant, and I've very much enjoyed being a part of it for the last 7 years.
Well, I was saying to you before, like this, all this makes me want to do now is actually do a podcast, like where we just like talk about each episode as it happens. So, if you ever think about doing that, please send me a message. I want to be in it.
Oh, mate, absolutely, and thank you so much for this. Like, I think this is definitely my longest podcast ever, if not my first podcast. And thank you for making it a very enjoyable experience.
My pleasure. It's been great to have you on, dude. It's been great to have you on. And thank you to everyone else for watching. So if you have enjoyed, as always, you know what to do. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you leave a like. If you listen on Spotify, make sure you're following the podcast. Keep in touch with new episodes every 2 weeks. And as always, as I said at the start, if you want 2 days early access to the episodes, make sure you head over to www.patreon.com/RedArcherLive. Crispy had no idea I was going to do this little bit of shilling at the end, so I hope he's enjoying it.
It's good. I love it. It's very good.
It's a good bit of publicity. You know, I've got to push the Patreon.
Everyone, listen. Let's do it. Go to the Patreon. Get it early. Let's get it done.
Exactly, because they get to listen to it on a Saturday, and what's better? There's nothing better than listening to a podcast on a Saturday night.
Nothing better than that.
Should I say that I don't tend to listen to podcasts? No, I won't say that. Okay, yeah. Saturday night's the best night to listen to a podcast. Listen to it then.
Absolutely. Confirmed,
absolutely. But thank you all very much for watching. I will see you all in 2 weeks' time with another episode of the Redcast. Until then, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all soon.
Thanks, guys.